Chapter 1192. First, she observed Song Yishuan's strategy. Her strategy was simple, she just drifted and raced. When she made a turn, she drifted so much that the tires squeaked. After a while, Huamin realized that although the mountain road was steep, it was very regular. Every minute or so, there would be a big turn, therefore, as long as she made a perfect turn, she would be able to catch up to Song Yishuan in a matter of minutes. Then, Huamin stepped on the gas pedal, her beloved Audi sped out, extremely nimble, she counted in her heart for 60 seconds and then made a beautiful turn. It wasn't a drift, but a very natural turn. It was even more perfect than Song Yishuan's showy maneuver. Just like that, after 3 minutes and 3 turns, Huamin caught up. When they caught up, Huamin stepped on the gas pedal again, and the car sped forward like it was flying. Song Yishuan was suddenly thrown more than 3 meters away by Huamin. What the? No way. That woman is so fast, she caught up so quickly. No way, this doesn't make sense. Song Yishuan was dumbfounded. Don't underestimate her, she's very smart, I think she found a trick. Song Yishu said with hostility as she tightly held onto her seatbelt. It's okay, even so, I have a way to deal with her. Then, Song Yishuan sped up and followed closely behind Huamin's car. Then, with a bang, she crashed into the back of Huamin's car. Huamin's car jerked forward. Xian, we all have driving cameras now, why are you doing this? Song Yishu's eyes widened. She always thought that she was cruel, but she didn't expect her cousin to be even more cruel. She couldn't beat Song Yishuan, so she crashed into the back of Song Yishuan's car. At this speed, the car in front of Song Yishuan could easily flip over if they collided. I already said that you don't know anything about cars. When the time comes, I'll smash the dashcam and no one will know. Besides, we all have our own recordings in our phones. Didn't you say that the competition is voluntary? What does her accident have to do with me? Besides, even if someone really did find us, do you think my father and your father's power isn't enough to deal with it? You're making a fuss over nothing. Song Yishuan was used to being bossy since she was young, so she didn't think that this was a problem. Huamin was in a bad mood after she bumped into him. How dare this woman play dirty with me? Huamin gritted his teeth and cursed. Huamin should have known that they would be so despicable. He steeled his heart and continued to speed up. Song Yishuan followed closely behind her and refused to let up. It seemed like she wanted to continue bumping into her. And Huamin would not give her the chance. With such a fast speed, if she bumped into him when he turned a corner, he would fall off the cliff. That would cost him his life. Therefore, Huamin was still moving left and right as he accelerated. His reaction was extremely fast. Song Yishuan wanted to bump into him, but she didn't have the chance to do so. Song Yishuan gripped the steering wheel tightly. Not bad, that woman is very smart. She used this trick to avoid me, haha. I told you she wasn't easy to deal with. You're too reckless. Yishuan. Song Yishu sounded like she was complaining. Don't worry, I've been racing for so many years. I won't lose to a newbie. Cousin, hold on tight. I'm going to give her a fatal blow. Then, Song Yishuan began to make a sharp turn and drift. Song Yishu was so scared that she covered her eyes with her hands and didn't dare to look. She actually regretted it. She wanted her cousin to bully Huamin, but she didn't think that she would be dragged into this. The person sitting in the front passenger seat was basically putting her life in someone else's hands. This wasn't racing, this was risking her life. Chapter 1193. The wheels squealed again, and several times, Song Yishu felt like the car was going to fall off the cliff. In the end, she was so scared that she closed her eyes. After a few more tries, Song Yishuan finally caught up to Huamin. Huamin, on the other hand, was pushed to the outside by her dirty tricks while she was on the inside. One was on the inside while the other was on the outside. Obviously, the person on the outside was at a disadvantage. At this moment, Song Yishuan smiled sinisterly. Then, she suddenly turned the steering wheel and headed towards Huamin's direction. Her goal was obvious. She wanted to knock Huamian off the edge of the cliff. The road was so narrow, and she had no doubt used all of her strength to force the car open. Xian. Song Yishe saw through her intentions and was so scared that her face turned pale. If she really knocked Huamin off the cliff and died, the two sisters would be indirectly murdered. Song Yishuan's car was about to crash into Huamin's R8. Huamin suddenly slammed on the brakes. The brakes of $1 million luxury car were extremely flexible. She slammed on the brakes and the car suddenly stopped. However, Song Yishuan's car was still running. Therefore, when she crashed into Huamin, she was faster than him and fell off the cliff. Ah! Two deafening screams were heard. They came from Song Yishuan's BMW X5. Song Yishuan originally wanted to kill Huamin, but she failed and fell off the cliff. She deserved it. After Huamin stopped the car, he immediately opened the door and got out. He looked around and realized that the cliff wasn't very high. The most dangerous part was over, and there was a 3-meter deep ditch below. The trees were dense, so the BMW X5 fell off the cliff and into the ditch. There were even tree trunks around it. It wasn't a big problem. After hesitating for 5 seconds, Huamin took out his phone and called 120. 20 minutes later, the 120 came and carried the injured Song sisters away. Damn it, the 110 came as well. Song Yishe, who was stuck in the car, was scared and called many times for help. She never thought that Huamin would call for help. The funniest part was that when she called 110, she purposely said that her car was hit and that Huamin wanted to murder her. After her explanation, Huamin couldn't clear his name. Therefore, he was brought back to the municipal bureau. Why are you here again? In the municipal bureau station, Gao ran and looked at Huamin, speechless. He couldn't even remember how many times Huamian had been sent to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. What was Huamin? Huamin. Huamin S's. What's going on? Why are you here this time? Gao Ran just came back from a case, so he didn't know that Huamin was racing with the Song sisters. Racing? Huamin calmly answered. Pfft. Gao Ran spat out a mouthful of tea. Luckily, Huamin reacted quickly. He lowered his head, and the tea splashed onto the face of the young policeman behind him. Captain Gao, you don't have any more tea, right? I'll get you some more. Not only was the young policeman not angry, he even tried to suck up to Gao Ran and poured more tea for him. This made it easier for the two of them to talk. Racing? Are you okay? When did you start racing? Does Mr. Qin know? Huamin shook his head. If he knew, he would kill you for sure. Kill you is the right thing to do. If Zhu Lingling did that, I would kill her too. Don't you know that racing is risking your life? Gao Ran was speechless. Qin Chu was worried sick that he had such a troublesome wife like Huamin. I was also provoked. Anyways, it's not my fault, Huamin said confidently. Really? If it's not your fault, then fine. I'll call Mr. Qin right now and ask him to bail you out. Then, Gao Ran took out his phone and pretended to make a call. Chapter 1194. Hey, Gao Ran, let's talk this out. Huamin immediately grabbed Gao Ran's hand. She had made up her mind that there was no way she would let Qin Chu bail her out. She would rather be detained for 24 hours. Can't we talk this out? This is a big deal, Qin Chu has to know about it. But I can't let him bail me out now. I'll just buy some time. Huamin had made up her mind not to let Qin Chu bail her out. Every time Qin Chu bailed her out, he would beat her up for half a day. That atmosphere was truly terrifying. But, no buts. Anyways, if you dare to call Qin Chu, I'll tell Lingling that I saw you having dinner with Lin Xuejiao. Fuck, is that even possible? Gao Ran was speechless. If you don't believe me, you can try. Let's see who she believes. Huamin smirked. Even if Huamin framed her, Zhu Lingling would definitely believe it. The problem was, the two sisters were very close. Gao Ran thought about the pros and cons and decided that he couldn't take the risk of calling Qin Chu. So here was the problem, you're in such a serious situation this time. If Qin Chu doesn't bail you out, who are you going to bail you out? Me? Gao Ran asked in all seriousness. The truth was, as a member of the Municipal Public Security Bureau, especially the captain, he wasn't allowed to bail people out. To avoid suspicion, Gao Ran never bailed people out. However, if Huamin wanted to, he could make an exception. Can I ask Lingling to bail me out? Huamin asked. She's on the plane. Gao Ran replied. Okay, I'll call Xiaowei. 20 minutes later, Jiang Xiaowei arrived at the Municipal Public Security Bureau in a Mercedes-Benz RV. Ever since she got pregnant, she basically drove a Mercedes-Benz every time she went out because she was afraid that she would be too tired. Therefore, the Wei family hired a very good chauffeur. Girl, I'm here. Jiang Xiaowei walked in with a branded handbag. She was wearing a long black cotton coat, so her belly was not that obvious. Slightly. Thank you for your hard work. Huamin gave Jiang Xiaowei an affectionate hug. Shoo shoo shoo. Why are you being so courteous with me? Seriously, then, Jiang Xiaowei looked at Gao Ran. Sergeant Gao, am I qualified? Bail me on out. Dr. Jiang, this way please. Gao Ran didn't know whether to laugh or cry. One Huamin was enough of a headache, and now there was another Jiang Xiaowei. Seriously, if he didn't let her go, the two of them would probably overturn the city police station. Before leaving, Huamin suddenly asked, any news from the hospital? How are the Song sisters? Apparently, Song Yishuan's injuries are superficial, but Song Yisher's injuries are more serious. Apparently, her nose is caved in. She needs plastic surgery because she was sitting in the passenger seat. Huamin didn't know what to say. She wasn't the type to gloat over other people's misfortunes. He didn't sympathize with Song Yisher because no one could sympathize with someone like her. Anyone with common sense would know that the moment a car accident happened, the driver would instinctively protect himself. Therefore, the unlucky ones were usually the ones sitting in the passenger seat. It seemed like Song Yisher was seriously injured this time. Then what do they want? Are they still going to sue me? Huamin thought that if the Song sisters continued to make unreasonable accusations against her, then she was going to release the video to the public. It was the video that was recorded before the race. This was originally a video that Song Yishuan saved to hurt Huamin, but now it became the evidence that Huamin used to clear her name. Needless to say, it was very good. No, the Song family probably didn't want to make a big deal out of it, so they withdrew the lawsuit. They'll pay for the medical expenses themselves. That's right. Those two bitches went for wool and came home shorn. They wanted to hurt Mian, but they got the short end of the stick. I only want to say 7 words. Jiang Xiaowei said, feeling better. What 7 words? Gao Ran looked confused. Chapter 1195. Serves you right, you're so unlucky. Gao Ran, Huamin, that's a good point. Let's go, Mrs. Qin, treat me to a big meal. Then, Jiang Xiaowei put her arm around Huamin's shoulder and the two of them walked out of the Municipal Public Security Bureau intimately. Because Huamin's car was damaged, he had to be towed to a 4S store. They got into Xiaowei's Mercedes-Benz. Xiaowei, what do you want to eat? How about a roasted lamb leg? Jiang Xiaowei asked with a smile. That's exactly what I wanted, I've been preparing for a few days now. If Mr. Qin wasn't so busy, we would have gone already. Let's go for lamb leg, let's go. Then, the chauffeur drove them to a big Mongolian hotel in the city center. It was called the Grassland Family. The hotel was in the shape of a yurt. It was beautiful and luxurious. The owner was a Mongolian, a fierce Mongolian man, the sheep were all from the grassland, and business was booming. The two of them went straight into a luxurious yurt. They ordered a 4-pound roasted lamb leg, as well as many side dishes and meat skewers. Wouldn't it be a waste if it's just the two of us? How about we call our family members? Jiang Shaowei suggested. You call your family, I'll pass, haha. I'm still in shock after such a big accident. I'm scared that if Mr. Qin finds out, I'll be dead meat. Okay, I'll call Wei Liao to come. No problem, you two can eat as much as you want, it's my treat, Hua Min said with a lofty look on his face. Jiang Shaowei immediately took out her phone and called Wei Liao. She didn't say that Hua Min was treating, she just said that she was having roasted lamb leg. Wei Liao, Su Yu, and Tang Chuan were playing billiards and hadn't eaten yet. When they heard that Hua Mian had ordered a roasted lamb leg, they were all shocked. When they heard that Hua Mian had roasted lamb leg, the three of them were very interested, hence, the three of them drove to the hotel in 3 sports cars that attracted a lot of attention. When they entered the yurt, Su Yu saw that Hua Min was there. Oh, Dr. Hua, you're here too. Tang Chuan had always loved to joke around, so when he saw Hua Min, he immediately put on a cheeky smile. Yeah, so be careful with your words. You might be in danger of being exposed. Hua Min replied humorously. Slightly, you didn't say Mian was here, haha. Wei Liao was a bit embarrassed. Fuck. You're blaming me. You didn't say that all 3 of you would come. Jiang Shaowei was also dumbfounded. This couple is amazing, it's fine. It's good that you're here. Let's eat together. Hua Min tried to smooth things over. Oh yeah, it's Mian's treat today. Eat whatever you want, haha, thank you, Dr. Hua, then I won't hold back. Haha, let's start with a bottle of the most expensive wine. Tang Chuan was the one who shouted. Hua Min was immediately speechless. You're a professional scammer. Su Yu slapped the back of Tang Chuan's neck. Tang Chuan grimaced. Haha, it's fine. If we exceed our budget, we have you, the super rich guy, right? We have nothing to be afraid of. Tang Chuan made up his mind. If Su Yu was here, then no one else would have to pay the bill. This was the benefit of having a super rich friend. What's so good that you're treating us to dinner? Wei Liao was smarter, so he looked at Hua Min and asked a key question. I was detained by the police, and then your family slightly bailed me out. Is that a good thing? Hua Min smiled. Wei Liao, Tang Chuan, Su Yu was the first to react. He looked at Hua Min worriedly and asked, why did you go in? Did you get into a fight again? Note that Su Yu used the word again. It seemed like Hua Min had become an indelible tomboy in Su Yu's heart. Chapter 1196. Drag Racing. Hua Min whispered, feeling a little guilty. Tang Chuan was holding a teacup and drinking the yurt's specialty milk tea. He almost spat it out. Oh my god, drag racing. Tang Chuan yelled in shock. Wei Liao, Su Yu, it's true, I can testify. Jiang Shaowei immediately raised her hand to testify when she saw how shocked everyone was. Drag racing alone isn't enough to detain you. At most, you'll be fined. Lord Su was the most knowledgeable. Hua Min lowered his head even more. I was drag racing with Song Yishuan. Song Yishuan, the precious daughter of the director of the Land Bureau? Tang Chuan asked. Hua Min nodded. Song Yishu was sitting in the front passenger seat. Hua Min continued. We're not going to race, we're going to get revenge, right? Wei Liao interrupted. Su Yu, on the other hand, was very calm. However, Hua Min's last sentence almost made Su Yu jump. She said, then, we had a race at the Akina Mountain racetrack. Tang Chuan, Akina Mountain. Road of Death. Wei Liao, heroine, I admire you immensely. Do you want to die? Su Yu stared at Hua Min and yelled angrily. He hadn't gotten angry at Hua Min for a long time. Jiang Shaowei couldn't stay calm when she saw Su Yu's expression. Huh? What's going on? What's wrong with the Akina Mountain racetrack? Why do all of you have such weird expressions? Jiang Xiaowei didn't like to study racing, so she didn't know what kind of racetrack Akina Mountain Racetrack was. When she went to bail him out, she only knew that Huamin and the Song sisters raced, but she didn't ask for details. Before anyone else could speak, Wei Liao explained, the Akina Mountain Racetrack is known as the Road of Death for racers. It's one of the 3 most difficult racetracks in China. The terrain is extremely complicated, with lots of turns and steep cliffs, so a lot of people get into accidents while racing. Every year, a lot of people die. That racetrack has been banned by official racetracks for years. Only those who like to race cars would go there, but, if you're not good, you can't win, you can't finish. Of course, we didn't go there once, 5 years. It's not only was it rain, we almost flipped it, it's also cliffs and cliffs. But, if yours not, of course. After Wei Liao finished speaking, Jiang Xiaowei fell silent. What kind of race did Huamin and the Song sisters just go through? Seeing that Huamin didn't say anything, Suyu asked with a cold expression, you think you're a good driver? No, Huamin replied. Then you think you're lucky? Not really, just one, Huamin continued to answer honestly. Then you think it's exciting? No, it's not. My heart almost stopped. Huamin continued to answer questions. So, the result of your race with the Song sisters was? Song Yishuan bumped into me when she was turning a corner. Then, I slammed on the brakes, and the 2 of them flipped over. Then, I called 120. Huamin confessed everything like a criminal. Tang Chuan and Wei Liao worshipped her like she was a god. Goddess Hua, please accept a bow from your little brother. Tang Chuan put his hands together and laughed. She was really fast when she was turning. You shouldn't have been able to react in time when she suddenly bumped into you. How did you stop in time? That's amazing, how did you do it? Wei Liao was a very meticulous person, and he always paid attention to details. Chapter 1197. I actually didn't react in time. I guessed that she would hit me at this point, so I was prepared to step on the brakes, but how did you know she was going to hit you here? Wei Liao looked surprised. Because we were parallel, and it was also the last big turn of the track. If she didn't hit me at that point, she probably wouldn't have had a chance. But it's not like the Song sisters to not use some tricks, so, Huamin didn't finish his sentence, but everyone knew what he wanted to say. Mian, didn't you say that you weren't familiar with that track? How did you know it was the last big turn? Jiang Xiaowei asked carefully. I really wasn't familiar with it, I just memorized it when I was driving up the mountain. Wei Liao, Tang Chuan, Jiang Xiaowei, Huamin memorized all the turns of the Akina Mountain Racetrack, and even knew which one was the biggest one. This abnormal memory. Was it really that heaven-defying? So you think you're awesome and proud? Su Yu's face was as dark as it could get. Even Wei Liao and Tang Chuan hadn't seen Su Yu this angry in a long time. It was like the sign of a storm. No. I'm proud, I just feel good because I won the bet, Huamin answered in a small voice. You still had a bet? Ha, what bet? Tell us. Tang Chuan loved to gossip, so he immediately started asking questions. Didn't Song Yishuan rear-end my car on the highway? She said that if I dared to race with her, she would pay me the full price of my Audi R8. It was like buying a new one. You raced for a $1 million car. Is your life that worthless? Su Yu roared angrily. This was also the reason why he was the most angry. He was really scared. Fortunately, it was the Song sisters who were in trouble. What if something happened to Huamin? What was he supposed to do? 1 million is just a small matter. The important thing is that if I win, they promised me that whenever I appear in public in the future, they'll make way for me. You know, I really don't like Song Yisher, and I also hate her cousin whom I met for the first time this year. So, I think I can give it a try. Huamin said calmly, but what if you lose? Wei Liao was a little scared. I won't lose. Huamin said proudly. His Tsundere index had surpassed Qin Chu's, but I heard that Song Yishuan really started out as a racer. You sure have guts. You're a newbie, yet you chose to race against an experienced racer at a place like Akina Mountain. You're a god. Other than you, I'll never respect anyone else in my life. Tang Chuan gave Huamin a thumbs up. This time, he wasn't teasing him. He truly admired Huamin. Brains and driving skills were only a part of it. What he admired the most was Huamin's courage. Normally, girls would tremble at the sight of roads like Akina Mountain. They wouldn't even dare to drive normally, let alone race. Does Qin Chu know what you're doing? Su Yu asked coldly. No, I don't want him to know. He'll skin me alive. Huamin bit down on her lips, looking dazed. Good, then I'll call Qin Chu right now. Su Yu was infuriated. He stood up and took out his phone to call Qin Chu. He didn't have the right to discipline Huamin, but Qin Chu did. Chapter 1198. With Huamin's impudent personality, it was impossible for him not to teach it a lesson. Don't call me, let's talk nicely. Mr. Warrior. Huamin snatched Su Yu's phone away. She looked like a little girl, so you didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You're scared? What were you thinking when you were racing? Are you out of your mind? Su Yu cursed angrily. I just wanted to torture the Song sisters. Is it worth it for those two pieces of trash? Su Yu asked angrily. Before Huamin could answer, he suddenly heard a familiar voice from his phone. Hello? Su Yu dialed the number, but he didn't make the call. Huamin, on the other hand, dialed the number. So, the voice that came from Su Yu's phone in Huamin's hand was Qin Chu's? She was scared out of her wits when she thought of this. Huamin immediately made a shushing gesture to the others, then, he handed the phone to Su Yu. Su Yu was a little nervous. He only wanted to scare Huamin and didn't really plan on calling Qin Chu. However, he accidentally dialed the number. Hello? What do you want from me? Su Yu took the phone and asked awkwardly. You're calling me, and you're asking me what I want from you? Qin Chu was speechless. Although he didn't talk to Su Yu on the phone, Su Yu's phone number wasn't a secret in their circle. Qin Chu immediately knew who was on the other end of the line. Ahem. I actually didn't want to talk to you about anything, I just wanted to ask if you ate yet. Do you think we can just chat casually with someone like you? Are you crazy? Mr. Qin said calmly. You're right, that's all then. Bye. Then, before Qin Chu could say anything, Su Yu immediately hung up. Beside them, Huamian finally let out a sigh of relief. It was a good thing that this annoying person didn't tell Mr. Qin, or else he would have been taught a lesson. Just then, the waiter brought over a lamb leg that was sizzling with oil. Immediately, the aroma of food filled the air. You guys eat first, I'm going to leave, ha. Huamian was still worried and decided to leave first, but you haven't eaten yet. Jiang Shaowei didn't want him to leave. We'll eat another day. Ha, today's expenses are on me. It's my treat. Everyone, enjoy yourselves. Then, before the others could react, Huamin's picked up his bag, left. Min was. He was so fast. What's going on? The person who's treating us ran away. Tang Chuan laughed. She's probably afraid that Qin Chu will find out what happened today. Qin Chu is very worried about Huamin. If he finds out that she went racing at Akina Mountain, the consequences won't be good. Jiang Shaowei said slowly as she held a pair of chopsticks in her mouth. Huamin is a smart girl. She looks like a good girl, but she's actually a troublemaker, Tang Chuan commented. A troublemaker needs to be strong. I heard that the two girls from the Song family were scared out of their wits. Luckily, they were lucky. When they flipped over, the ditch was only about 3 meters deep. If it was anywhere else, they would have been smashed into pieces. Jiang Xiaowei gloated. Huamin left the restaurant and called a cab to go home. Sure enough, less than 5 minutes after she got home, Qin Chu came home. She quickly changed into her pajamas and pretended that she had just woken up. Honey, you're back. Have you eaten? No. What do you want to eat? I'll make it for you. Qin Chu looked up, glanced at Huamian, and asked faintly, did you do something wrong to me again? Chapter 1199. Ahem, how is that possible? Am I such a disobedient person? Huamin retorted guiltily. Sir, what would you like for dinner? I'll ask the kitchen to prepare it. Uncle Li walked over and took Qin Chu's jacket. Just a bowl of noodles, I don't have anything I want to eat. As soon as Qin Chu finished speaking, Huamin rushed into the kitchen. Honey, I'll cook for you. Do you want spicy or light? Qin Chu didn't say anything, he just stared quietly at Huamin's face. Why are you looking at me like that? Huamin felt guilty again. I feel like, you're hiding something from me. How is that possible? Honey, you're thinking too much. Is it because of work stress that you're overthinking things? It's okay. I'll make you some soup later to help your brain. Then, Huamin ran into the kitchen and didn't dare to show his face again. Qin Chu went upstairs to change his clothes and take a shower. Then, he took his tablet downstairs and started working in the living room. At night, most of the maids went to bed, so Huamin told Uncle Li not to tell Huamin that he just came back. Half an hour later, Huamin personally made a bowl of fragrant hot noodle soup. He even made Qin Chu a bowl of brightening eyes and nourishing spirit soup. It was actually made with cassia seeds, bitter chrysanthemum, and other important ingredients. Qin Chu sat in the living room and wolfed down the noodles. In fact, as long as it was made by Huamin, he would eat it happily, no matter how bad it tasted. Huamin cupped his face with his hands and quietly watched Mr. Qin eat. Handsome people, even the way they ate was so elegant and charming. What a feast for the eyes. Why are you looking at me like that? Qin Chu looked up. Because you're handsome and easy on the eyes. Don't flatter me yet. Come, let me ask you, where's your car? When Qin Chu came back, he did not see the Audi R8 in the parking lot, so where was her car? This was a crucial question. Huamin's heart was in his mouth again. The car is broken. How did it break? Qin Chu asked while eating. I accidentally bumped into someone on the way back. I drove it to the 4S store to get it fixed. Really? Who did you bump into? A pair of sisters. They're probably new and don't know how to drive, so they rear-ended each other. Huamin continued to answer honestly. Then, how much did I pay you? That hasn't been calculated yet. They don't lack money. They said that when my car is repaired and the bill is out, they will compensate me together. Which part of the road did you hit? The highway. Huamin was telling the truth. She was indeed on the highway when Song Yishuan rear-ended her car. Why didn't you tell me that something so big happened? It's not a big deal. You're so busy every day, how could I trouble you? Huamin smiled guiltily. Qin Chu finished her noodles in a few bites and placed her chopsticks on the table. Then, she took out her phone and began talking. It's weird today, Suyu actually called me. Really? Huamin felt even more guilty. Yeah, I think he wants to talk to me about something, but he didn't say anything. What do you think he wants to talk to me about? After speaking, Qin Chu leaned over and looked closely at Huamin. She didn't dare to look directly at Qin Chu, she was afraid that he would see right through her. Suyu wants to talk to you? How would I know what he wants to talk to you about? Huamin purposely avoided the topic. But I think that if Suyu wants to talk to me, it must have something to do with you. So, honey, can you tell me what happened tonight? Qin Chu's tone was very gentle, but the more gentle it was, the more Huamin was scared. It was like the calm before the storm. At this moment, Huamin was in a dilemma. She was wondering if she should confess and ask for leniency, or if she should just deny it and continue to hide the truth. Chapter 1200. After hesitating for 5 seconds, in the end, Huamin purposely looked up at the ceiling and said, "The weather is nice today, it's sunny and windy." The truth was, Huamin didn't want to lie to Qin Chu, but she was really afraid that Mr. Qin would get angry. Every time Mr. Qin got angry, it would be like the ice age in the house. In the end, Qin Chu stared at Huamin for a while, then took out his phone and placed it on the table. "This video is going viral on WeChat today, it's pretty interesting, take a look." Huamin suspiciously picked up the phone and took a look. Holy shit, wasn't this a video of her and the Song sisters racing? From the visual angle, it looked like an aerial shot, but it was very clear. All of a sudden, Huamin felt like she was struck by lightning. This. Huamian stammered for a long time, unable to say anything. "Don't you think the license plate looks familiar?" Qin Chu looked at her with a smile in his eyes. It would have been better if Mr. Qin didn't smile, but when he did, she got goosebumps. "Honey. I'm sorry." Huamin saw that she couldn't hide the truth anymore, so she immediately started apologizing. "Oh. You're sorry. What did you do wrong?" Shouldn't you tell me that you lent your car to someone else to race?" "No, I didn't lend it to anyone else, I drove it myself." Huamin didn't want to weave any more lies, so she decided to come clean. "That shouldn't be, my wife. You've always been a steady driver, why would you race?" Qin Chu purposely rubbed his chin and said, "Honey, this is what happened." Then, during the 10-minute-long statement, Huamin explained the truth of what happened to Qin Chu. Everything she said was true, and she wasn't exaggerating at all. After hearing what she said, Qin Chu quietly asked, "I'm not interested in anything else, and I don't want to know why you were racing or who you were racing with. How's the other person's injury? I just want to ask you. Why did you race behind my back?" It was an emergency, and I was angry, so I made a bet with her." "Did you know that Song Yishuan is an amateur racer?" "No." "Then did you know that the Akina mountain track is known as the Road of Death?" Qin Chu asked again. The smile on his face gradually disappeared, and his expression became colder and colder. "Then have you ever thought about how I would feel if you were the one who got hit?" Qin Chu's to Hua Qin Chu, Huamian, you're so selfish. You only care about your own feelings and never consider mine. You have no idea how important you are to me. You treat this as a game, but it's a disaster for me. I'm a little tired, I don't want to say anything else." After Qin Chu finished speaking, he turned around and went upstairs with his tablet. Huamin was left alone in the living room, all alone and cold. She didn't feel good about it. After Qin Chu went upstairs, he went straight to his study and turned on his computer to do some work. The video was taken by some racing enthusiasts who happened to be near Akina Mountain. They used a small aerial camera to take pictures of the two cars. Then, they crazily reposted it on their WeChat moments. The title of the video was, "If your girlfriend drove like this, would you dare to ride in her?" Countless netizens commented that the two cars were too fast. Did they have a death wish? Some professional racers also praised, "The owner of the Audi is amazing. Although she's not very good at driving, she's very stable and beautiful when she turns." The person who posted the video didn't want to get into trouble, so they censored the first 2 digits of the license plate. However, Qin Chu could still tell that it was Huamin's car. He wondered why his left eyelid kept twitching tonight. It turned out that his worrisome wife had caused trouble again. Just then, Qin Chu's phone rang. Chapter 1201. Qin Chu, I was careless about your wife, I'm sorry. After Rick fell in love with his girlfriend, he had been intimately attached to her. He used to send people to protect Huamin, but things had been peaceful recently, so he let his guard down. Now, Huamin's racing incident had spread throughout the industry. Rick immediately apologized to Qin Chu. It's okay, it's not your fault, my Mian is really a pain in the ass. Chin Chu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Okay, call me if you need anything. Okay. The two men hung up after a few words. At this time, Gao Ran sent him a WeChat voice message, Mr. Rich, come out and drink. How dare you ask me to drink with you? I haven't had the chance to settle the score with you for not telling me. What are you talking about? I don't understand. Gao Ran immediately felt guilty. Go on, keep making things up, I'm getting more and more confused, Gao Ran pretended to be confused, trying to get away with it. You used to think that we were on the same page, and that we were still buddies. But now that you slept with Zhu Lingling, you betrayed her, right? You helped her hide it from me? No, how could I? You're still being stubborn. Good, very good, then swear that if you hide anything from me, you'll have erectile dysfunction for the rest of your life, fuck. You're so evil. Gao Ran was so angry that he almost stomped his feet. If you dare to swear, I'll believe you. Chin Chu didn't give up. Fine, I give up. Chin Chu, you're so evil. I really shouldn't have done that. You're so smart, so you must know that Huamin needs to be taught a lesson, or else she'll be too stubborn. We're talking about you now. You're a police officer, but you're so spineless that you're betrayed by a woman. No, I'm innocent. You don't know how evil Huamin is. She said that if I didn't help her hide it from you, she would tell Lingling that I was dating Lin Xuejiao. You don't know how much Lingling trusts Huamin. Would I dare to take that risk? I've been single for 10,000 years and finally found a girlfriend. Can you bear to see me get dumped? Chin Chu chuckled softly. Huamian and her weren't family, and they wouldn't enter the same house. She even dared to threaten Gao Ran and made him obedient. She was really something else. The two of you should take care of your own business, right? Don't drag us down with you. I wish you a wonderful night. Goodbye. With that, Gao Ran started playing dead. He made up his mind that no matter what Chin Chu said, he wouldn't reply. Chin Chu looked at his watch. It had been almost 15 minutes since he went upstairs. According to his calculations, Huamin would definitely come and apologize within 20 minutes. When that time came. Just wait and see. Gao Ran was right about one thing. It was time to teach this little wild horse of his a lesson, otherwise, he would really be out of control. This time, he was racing. Next time, he would probably fly into the sky. Downstairs, Huamin racked his brains for a way to appease Mr. Qin. He seemed to be really angry, angrier than before. In the end, Huamin decided to use his ultimate move. After 20 minutes of stalemate, Huamin decided to take the initiative. Outside the study, Huamin gently knocked on the door. Chin Chu didn't even look up as he continued to read. Huamin was wearing a light pink, lacy, sexy nightgown. Zhu Lingling had bought it for her when they were shopping. Zhu Lingling told her that she would be able to make Chin Chu fall head over heels for her. This nightgown was translucent and faintly discernible. It was indeed very seductive, honey. Huamin purposely said in a coquettish voice. Her soft voice made Chin Chu's bones melt. Chapter 1202. Chin Chu pretended not to hear her. Huamin walked over and got closer. Then, she stood beside him and called out weakly, honey, what? Chin Chu looked up and purposely put on a straight face, fuck. Chin Chu was speechless. His wife stole the line he always used to say, honey, what do you think of this dress? It's nothing, I hate lace. Chin Chu purposely put on a long face. Huamin, then, she turned around and ran away. Chin Chu was puzzled. He had just dealt a blow to Huamian, and now she was running away. Her heart was too fragile. Was he being too harsh with his words? Should he coax her? At this thought, Chin Chu suddenly realized that she was the one in the wrong, not him. He had to be firm. Yes, he had to be firm. He couldn't surrender so quickly. He couldn't do it either. Seduction didn't work either. Then, Chin Chu picked up his teacup, took a sip, and went back to work. 5 minutes later, Hua Min appeared at the door again. Honey. Honey. Her voice was even more coquettish than last time. Chin Chu unintentionally turned his head and almost fell off his chair, because at this moment, Hua Min's nightgown was gone. She had changed into an extremely sexy, blue-striped maid outfit, trying to seduce him with a uniform. No, he couldn't admit defeat. He couldn't let her go so easily. Chin Chu coughed lightly and pretended not to see anything. He turned around and continued working. Honey, does this look good? Hua Min really should thank Zhu Lingling. In order to spice up their relationship, she bought him so many weird things. Although she didn't wear it even once because she was shy, it came in handy when she made a mistake. It doesn't look good, it's so ugly. Chin Chu said against his will. Hua Min looked down at herself. When she looked in the mirror just now, she clearly felt fine. Did Chin Chu not like it? Then, she turned around and ran away again. This time, Chin Chu wasn't in the mood to work. His Mian was playing a game of cross-dressing. She even tried to seduce him with a uniform. He wasn't in the mood to continue working. His heart began to beat faster. 5 minutes later, when Hua Min came back again, she had changed into a bunny girl outfit. It was white and had 2 rabbit ears. It was very cute. Chin Chu almost couldn't hold back his laughter. In the end, it was his strong willpower that controlled him. Then, he deliberately asked with a dark face, "So our house has become a big forest?" Hua Mian looked at her bra, low-cut blouse, and bunny ears. She was not used to it either. Then, looking at Mr. Chin's murderous eyes, she was sure that she had failed again. Hua Mian stomped her foot in anger, turned around, and ran away again. In the bedroom, she thought about it and decided that she couldn't keep changing her clothes like this. It was a waste of time, and she looked like a clown in front of Mr. Chin. After thinking for a moment, Hua Min decided to use her ultimate move. When Hua Min appeared in front of Chin Chu again, Chin Chu's eyes widened. Hua Min was wearing a bikini, which was rare. She was so traditional that she wouldn't wear such a sexy swimsuit, and she went on vacation to the Maldives. But today, she was wearing a bikini, and it was aqua blue. It was a beautiful bikini. It completely exposed Hua Min's golden ratio figure. She had a flat stomach, a slim waist, a curvy butt, and a not too big but not too small cup size. Most importantly, she wet her hair, and water droplets kept dripping down. It was an extremely seductive scene. Chin Chu swallowed his saliva. He couldn't help but whisper, "Honey." Chapter 1203. Seeing Chin Chu's expression, Hua Min knew that her trump card had worked. Oh yeah, she wanted to cheer in her heart. Hua Min gestured with her finger. "Honey, it's getting late, shouldn't we go to bed?" "You're right, Mrs. Chin." The two of them began to play the game of time travel, and they began to talk about ancient people. Then, Chin Chu stood up. He picked up Hua Min horizontally and walked straight into the spacious bedroom on the 2nd floor. Hua Min was elated. If she knew that this method would work, she would have used it a long time ago. She didn't have to be so scared. She almost peed her pants. Mr. Chin was really scary when he was angry. Hua Min made up her mind that Mr. Chin would fall for her beauty trap and not pursue what happened tonight. But, she forgot one thing. Who was Mr. Chin? He was famous for being two-faced. Would he let Hua Min off the hook so easily? No, if he let her off the hook so easily, then he wouldn't be Chin Chu. In the bedroom, after Chin Chu placed Hua Min on the bed, he didn't rush to get on top of her. Instead, he began to unbuckle his belt. Hua Min opened her eyes shyly when she heard the clanking sound of metal. She thought to herself, "My husband knows how to unbuckle his belt, and I don't even have to do it myself." Just as she thought about it, she saw Chin Chu tie Hua Min's hands up with his belt. Honey, are you that hardcore?" Hua Min was a little dizzy. No way. S&M. This was too explosive. How come she didn't know that her husband was such a wild man before? Sure enough, although humans had evolved into the highest level of animals, their bodies were still stimulated by male hormones, and they still had the most primitive wildness in their hearts. Huamin thought that if her husband wasn't angry, then it wouldn't be a big deal to play hardcore once in a while. After all, he was her husband, not an outsider. Plus, Mr. Qin was so nice to her that he wouldn't hurt her. Thinking of this, Huamin said weakly, "Honey, just tie me up. Forget about the whip and wax." "Ha, I can't take it." Qin Chu narrowed his eyes and looked down at Huamin. Then, he smiled evilly. "Can't take it? You're pretending to be a little sheep now. When you're racing, why don't you think about whether you can handle it?" "Hubby. I was wrong. You can kill me or torture me as you wish. I just ask for your forgiveness." Huamin continued to act pitiful in an attempt to gain Mr. Qin's pity. "I don't want to kill you, nor do I want to skin you. I just want to." After saying that, Qin Chu bent down and tore with his big hand. The force wasn't very strong, but the bikini was instantly turned into strips of cloth. All of a sudden, the spring scenery became ineffective. Under the bright lights was Huamin's perfect and fair body. She had the shyness and inexperience of a young girl. She was a genius in other aspects, but she was a slow idiot when it came to sex. Because of her shyness and embarrassment, she always pretended to be an ostrich. She would bury her head under the covers and only show her head when he was done. Zhu Lingling had scolded her several times and told her that she was useless. Zhu Lingling even taught her some tricks. However, she was too embarrassed to use them on Qin Chu. Today's occasion, under this kind of atmosphere, was truly unprecedented. "Hubby, please forgive me." Huamin looked at Qin Chu with puppy eyes. She had a pitiful look on her face. "Sure, after tonight, I'll forgive you." After saying this, Mr. Qin bent down and started kissing her all over her body. The sound of rapid breathing could be heard in the room. In an instant, the atmosphere became extremely ambiguous. Chapter 1204. Huamin originally thought that they were just going to have sex like every other time. At most, Mr. Qin wouldn't have enough and would do it a few more times, but this time, she guessed wrongly. Under Mr. Qin's skillful teasing, Huamian's face was as red as a boiled crab. Her desire was at its peak, and she thought that they could make love to each other, but she was wrong again. Mr. Qin actually got up and left. What was going on? "Honey, what is it, honey?" Qin Chu sat on the chaise lounge, lit up a cigarette, and asked slowly. "I." Huamin found it hard to speak. "You want it?" Qin Chu asked. Huamin nodded shyly, but Mr. Qin said the cruelest word of her life, "No." Damn it, he teased her until she couldn't take it anymore, and then he got up to smoke and shamelessly said that he wouldn't give it to her. "Honey, don't be like this." Huamin's heart itched. She was a normal person, okay? Who could stand being teased like this by the person they loved? Think about it, calm down. Huamin, her hands were tied by Mr. Qin's belt, so she couldn't move at all. Huamin lay on the bed, closed her eyes, and forced herself to calm down. Don't think about anything and calm down. "I don't want it, I don't want it, I just don't want it." After 5 minutes, Huamin felt a lot better. She opened her eyes, and was dumbfounded again. Mr. Qin threw away the cigarette in his hand and pressed himself on her again. This time, he kissed her like a storm. The consciousness that she had just gathered with great difficulty was once again crushed mercilessly. Then, just when she couldn't take it anymore, Mr. Qin got up and straightened his collar. "Qin Chu, you bastard, are you messing with me?" Huamin finally understood what was going on. Mr. Qin wasn't asking for the truth, he was just toying with her. Qin Chu's gaze was clearly saying, "Yes, I'm playing with you. So what? Bite me? Honey, calm down. We'll continue in 5 minutes." Huamin felt as if countless alpacas were running through his heart. "Qin Chu, what kind of hero are you to play like this?" "I'm sorry, I'm not a hero. In this family, I only want one identity, your husband. If you want to kill me, then do it quickly. Killing me is just a matter of time. What's the point of playing like this?" Interesting, very interesting. Seeing Chin Chu's infuriating look, Huamin was also furious. Seeing that force didn't work, she changed her strategy. Honey, don't be like this, okay? Let's talk things out. I can't talk, but I'll do my best. I promise that tonight will be very enjoyable. Chin Chu smiled meaningfully. Huamin was speechless, she couldn't hold it in anymore. Although her hands were tied, her legs were still flexible. She slowly got up and was about to get off the bed. However, before she could reach the bed, Chin Chu's big hand grabbed her white ankle. Honey, the game isn't over, you can't go anywhere. Then, Chin Chu took off his white shirt and pressed Huamin down again. Then, it was another round of extreme lovemaking, but no matter what, he wouldn't give it to her. It was foreplay all the way, and Huamin felt like her entire body was on fire. Like a raging fire, Chin Chu's method was so fucking cruel. Chin Chu, we're a married couple, how can you treat me like this? She deliberately provoked him. We're a married couple, why didn't you think of me when you were racing? Honey, I was wrong. Huamin cried and begged for mercy again. It's too late to admit your mistake. Then, Chin Chu began another round of gentle torture. The truth was, during this process, Chin Chu was even more uncomfortable than Huamin. He loved her so much that his body was reacting to it. Huamin felt something hard pressing against her legs. That feeling was indescribably satisfying. She took a deep breath and angrily asked, "Stupid Chin Chu, do you dare to come in here?" Chapter 1205. I wouldn't dare. Mr. Chin replied shamelessly. Huamian wanted to bang her head against the wall. How could he torture her like this? He might as well just beat her up, she was going crazy. In the end, Huamin couldn't persuade him with force or persuasion, so she had to give up resisting. Then, she silently cried. As expected, Chin Chu's heart softened when he saw Huamin like this. Honey. He called out with heartache. Don't talk to me. Huamin turned her head away angrily. Strange, she was the one who did something wrong, so why did it seem like he was the one at fault in the end? Honey, don't be mad. I'll give it to you. Get out, don't touch me. Huamin was furious, she kicked Chin Chu away, she became anxious as she messed around. This was the perfect example of this couple. Mr. Chin felt wronged. Who was the one who did something wrong? I did something wrong, but I also admitted my mistake. No one would do something like you did. You did it to me all night, wah. Then, Huamin couldn't help but cry. Chin Chu wasn't afraid of anything, but he was afraid of Huamin crying. No matter how big of a mistake Huamin made, as long as she cried, his heart would immediately soften. Honey, don't cry, I won't pursue this matter, okay? Wah, honey, not only will I not pursue this matter, I will also apologize to you. I shouldn't have tortured you like this, okay? Wah, honey, what do you want? As long as you don't cry, I'll listen to everything you say. Really? Huamin immediately stopped crying and glanced at Mr. Chin suspiciously. Really? Chin Chu made up his mind to not pursue this matter. As long as his wife didn't cry, everything would be okay. Then, untie me first. Huamin pouted and cupped her hands. Without another word, Chin Chu untied her. Is this okay, honey? No, use this to tie yourself up. Chin Chu, wah, don't cry, honey, I'll do it myself. Chin Chu didn't know what to do. As long as Huamin didn't cry, he would do anything. Chin Chu tied himself up. Still unsatisfied, Huamian took out Chin Chu's other belt from the cabinet. She tied his legs as well. Honey, what are you trying to do? Chin Chu felt uneasy. Chin Chu, Hua Chin Chu, and Hua Chin Chut, you do what you do to me. T, Chin Chin Chutes. T do, T then, Huamin bent down and began kissing Mr. Chin like a storm. Chin Chu sucked in a breath of cold air. How could he resist such blatant seduction? Mian. Chin Chu's voice was a little hoarse and deep, but it had an indescribable charm to it. Yeah. Don't do that, you're playing with fire. Playing with fire is good, I like playing with fire. Huamin looked like a scoundrel who got what he wanted. After using her tears to get Mr. Qin to take pity on her, she immediately turned hostile and began doing the same thing to Mr. Qin. Ha! It was perfect. Are you sure? Qin Chu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm very sure. Shh, don't say anything, just enjoy the taste that I just enjoyed. Huamin tried her best to imitate Mr. Qin's seductive technique, however, a tearing sound was heard. The belt came open. Mr. Qin mercilessly broke open such a sturdy belt. Was it because she didn't tie it tight enough? Before Huamin could react, Mr. Qin suddenly pushed her onto the bed and devoured her. Qin Chu, you bastard, you cheated. Huamin looked like she was wronged. Qin Chu smiled but didn't say anything. Then, he started kissing her. Chapter 1206. The next morning, when Huamin woke up, it was already 9 a.m. Oh no, I'm late. She immediately got up and realized that her back was sore. Damn it, Qin Chu. Last night was too much for her, okay? Even if it was their wedding night, he didn't need to go that far. He wanted to eat her up. Just then, she noticed the note next to her pillow. It was obviously Mr. Qin's handwriting. Honey, I helped you take the morning off. Sleep well. Also, last night, thank you for your hard work. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry after reading the note. Last night was indeed hard on her. Her back was about to break, and her legs were sore as hell. That terrifying amount of energy was almost equivalent to climbing a mountain. Huamin stretched and then weakly got up from the bed. She changed her clothes and went downstairs. Uncle Li immediately ordered someone to prepare breakfast. Just then, her phone began to ring. It was an unknown number. Hello? Hello, is this Miss Huamin? Speaking. I'm Miss Song's accountant. Miss Song asked me to transfer the money to you. Which bank account do you think is more convenient? Huamin suddenly remembered the bet she made with Song Yishuan. If she won, she would pay for her car in full. A bank account will do. I just sent it to you. Okay, I'll transfer it to you right away. How are Song Yishuan and the others? Huamin asked tentatively. Miss Song is already out of the hospital, but her sister's injuries are quite serious. She needs plastic surgery and is still in the hospital. Oh, okay, I got it. After hanging up, Huamin sent her bank account number to the bank. 10 minutes later, she received a notification from the bank. More than 1 million yuan had been transferred to her account. Although Song Yishuan was annoying, she still kept her promise. Then, the accountant sent her another message. Miss Song said that the money has been transferred. Miss Hua, she hopes that you can delete the video on your phone. I know. Huamin knew that Song Yishuan thought that the video was a disaster, so there was no point in keeping it, so he just deleted it. She could only hope that Song Yishuan would keep her word and avoid her the next time she saw her. Anyway, he didn't want to see the Song sisters. Otherwise, he would be in a bad mood. After breakfast, Huamin looked at the time. It was still early, so he went to Sky Blessing Court to see his mother. Sky Blessing Court, Huamin, why are you here at this hour? Aren't you at work? Yang Meirong was surprised to see Huamin. Ah, I took the morning off. Huamin looked around and asked, where's Shopping? Ah, she went out. She said she went out to eat with her friends. Friends? She's only been in the city for a few days, and she already has friends? Huamin was a little surprised. Communication is so advanced these days. There's QQ and WeChat. I don't know how they met. She doesn't want to listen even if I tell her too much. Yang Meirong sighed. That won't do. Who's going to take responsibility if she gets scammed by an online friend? Mom, why don't you tell her to go home? She'll be worried. Huamin didn't like Yang Xiuping, so he didn't want her to stay. Okay, I'll talk to her when she comes back. Yang Meirong nodded. Oh right, Mian, have you eaten yet? I'll get you something to eat. It's okay, I already ate. I just came to see you. Then, Huamin took out 50,000 yuan in cash from his bag and placed it on the table. Mom, take this. Don't be stingy. I can make money now, so you have to treat yourself better. You're giving me money again. I don't need it. I still haven't spent all the money you gave me last time. Take it, you can buy whatever you want. After giving his mother the money, Huamin ate some fruit. Seeing that it was about time, he called a cab and went to the hospital. His car was sent for repair, so he probably wouldn't be able to get it back anytime soon. As soon as Huamin arrived at the hospital, Jiang Shaowei called. Mian, are you at work? Yeah, I just got to the hospital. What's up? Did Siyu look for you? No, why would he look for me? Huamin was a little confused. Jiang Shaowei wanted to say something but stopped. Chapter 1207. What's wrong with him? Huamin asked anxiously. She thought something happened to Suyu. He's going on a long trip, his flight is at 1:20. I thought he'd visit you before he left. A long trip? Where is he going? Huamin was a bit surprised. Suyu rarely went on long trips. Even when he went overseas for vacation, he would be back in a week at most. He's going south with his grandfather for an inspection. He's going with the army. I think he'll be gone for at least a month. What about the company? Imperial Star is fine. He can give orders over the phone. Plus, the vice president of Imperial Star is from his family, so it's fine. Oh, I see. So he didn't go to you? No. Huamin nodded. He didn't call you either? Jiang Shaowei asked in disbelief. No. Maybe he thought it through. Who knows? Anyway, I heard from Wei Liao. It's a sudden decision. It is. After hanging up the phone, Huamin didn't think too much about it. Suyu's trip had nothing to do with her. Then, she picked up the patient information her assistant gave her and began to read it. The truth was, Suyu did come to South Side in the morning, but he didn't see Huamin. He asked her assistant and found out that she took the morning off. Suyu left in disappointment. There was only an hour left until 1:20. Inside the VIP lounge at the airport. What's wrong with you? You're going to South Sea for a month? Are you crazy? Tang Chuan was very displeased. If Suyu left, who would hang out with him? My grandfather is old, and sometimes even his assistant can't figure him out. I'll go with him and take care of him. I think you want to hide from Huamin. Why would I hide from her? Suyu smiled helplessly. You want to see if you can try to forget her and let her go after being away for a month. You speak as if you know me very well. Suyu smiled. Do you dare to say no? Tang Chuan questioned. If you say so, then so be it. But if I can really go out for a month and let go of her, that would be a relief. Suyu was actually in a bit of pain right now. The deeper he fell, the less free and easy he felt, especially when he found out that Huamin had risked his life to race. If Huamin was his woman, he would definitely carry her upstairs and give her a good spanking. I'll teach her a good lesson and see if she dares to be so lawless in the future. But he couldn't because he didn't have the right to control Huamin. The only person who could control Huamin was Qin Chu. It would always be Qin Chu, so every time he thought about this, Suyu felt extremely pained. Last night in the yurt, after Huamin left, he was in a bad mood and drank a lot of white wine. Then, he completely got drunk. After drinking, he vomited, and after vomiting, he drank again. Even Jiang Shaowei was speechless. She never thought that Suyu would love Huamin so much. He loved her so much that he couldn't even talk about it. When Suyu returned to the mansion drunk, he didn't even remember what his mother and grandfather said. Anyway, when he woke up this morning, his grandfather announced that he had to take him with him to the south. Maybe his grandfather didn't want to see him in so much pain and wanted to take him into the army so that he could experience life in the south. To be honest, Suyu didn't want to leave because his heart ached when he thought about not being able to see Huamin for a month. Then you don't want to see her before you leave? Tang Chuan asked. Forget it. Suyu lowered his head with a heavy heart. At this moment, Tang Chuan picked up his phone and called Huamin. Huamin? I'm Tang Chuan, can you come to the airport to send Lord Su off? I'm begging you. Tang Chuan rarely spoke so seriously, let alone when he was begging someone. Huamin was dumbfounded when he heard this. You little brat, what are you doing? Hang up. Suyu didn't want to make things difficult for Huamin, so he grabbed Tang Chuan's phone. There's still an hour before departure. I really want to know, will she come? Tang Chuan looked at Suyu sympathetically. Lord Su did so much for that woman, and now she wasn't even willing to send him off. Chapter 1208. Southside Recuperation Center. Huamin sat in her office in a daze as she held her phone in her hand. She knew that Suyu was leaving Sea City for a while. Because Jiang Xiaowei had told her about it a long time ago, she thought that Suyu would send her a Weibo message or something, but he didn't. What was even more surprising was that Tang Chuan, a passerby, couldn't stand it anymore. He actually took the initiative to call her and asked her to send Suyu off. But was it really meaningful for her to go? Of course not. First of all, if Huamin went to send Suyu off, even if Mr. Qin wasn't jealous, he would still feel uncomfortable. Plus, it wasn't like Suyu wasn't coming back, he was only leaving for a month. Second of all, she didn't like Suyu at all. If she went to send Suyu off, it would definitely leave him with a glimmer of hope. Rather than continue to make him suffer, she might as well not go and cut off his hopes. Third of all, even if she and Suyu were friends, they were very distant friends. There was no need to make it so grand and even go to the airport to send him off, so, after some consideration, Huamin decided to be a heartless woman for once. She knew that Wei Liao, Tang Chuan, and even Xiao Wei might think that she was too heartless. Suyu did so much for her, but she didn't even send him off. But it wasn't as simple as a farewell. She knew that she owed Suyu, so she couldn't take everything that Suyu did for her for granted. But in this life, she met Qin Chu first, so she couldn't give anyone else her feelings. Her heart was too small, it was so small that it could only fit Mr. Qin alone. She wasn't greedy, God had already given her the best man, so she had to cherish him. She would rather betray him than betray him. In this life, she would rather betray the world than betray Qin Chu's love. Mr. Qin didn't like to talk. Most of the time, he used his actions to prove himself. That man, from his youth to his middle age, had been deeply in love with her all these years. That love was deep and unforgettable. Back when Qin Chu underwent heart surgery, Huamin had experienced those demonic days. She finally saw her own heart clearly. She was willing to sacrifice her life for him, so, no matter what kind of infamy she had to bear, no matter what kind of accusations she had to bear, it was fine to say that she was ungrateful. You could say that she was burning the bridge after crossing the river, or even that she was not worth befriending. There was no way she was going to give it to Suyu. He definitely couldn't go to the airport, but she really hoped that Suyu could get over it, give up his obsession with her, and pursue a new beginning that belonged to him. Chief, there's another patient who wants to see you, but you're not supposed to see them today. Do you want to pick them up? Chen Jie ran in, panting. Pick it up. Those who are here to register must be in a hurry to see a doctor. They can't be delayed. Huamin nodded and calmly continued to make house calls. At the airport, a young man in a military uniform walked over to Suyu and saluted him. Young Master Su, the chief asked me to tell you to board the plane. Suyu nodded. When his grandfather went out, the plane was specially used by the military. It wasn't as simple as the private planes of the rich. Most importantly, this plane had combat capabilities and was quite powerful. Plus, there were quite a lot of leaders going south this time, so there were a lot of bodyguards following them. Suyu, as a family member, was just one of them. Do you want to wait a little longer? Maybe she'll come. Tang Chuan couldn't help but ask. There's no need to wait, she won't come. Suyu knew his place, he knew how Huamin felt about him. So, he didn't have any hope. Before boarding the plane, Suyu didn't forget to look back at the empty corridor. She really didn't come. Lord Su, come back soon. Tang Chuan waved his hand reluctantly. Suyu carried a simple travel bag, smiled, and turned to board the plane. In the afternoon, Huamin was reading documents in his office. A woman wearing sunglasses and a mask pushed open the door and walked in. Hey, miss, you can't go in. Our chief won't be seeing patients in the afternoon. Chen Jia wanted to stop her, but she couldn't. Huamin looked up. Before he could say anything, he saw the woman take off her sunglasses and mask. Huamin froze, because this person was Mo Shui. Chapter 1209. Huamin, can we talk? Mo Shui smiled. Sure, but I'm at work right now, I won't take up too much of your time, Mo Shui emphasized. Okay. In the end, Huamin nodded. His assistant saw that Huamin knew this woman, so he didn't say anything else and left. Mo Shui sat down on the chair across from Huamin. She looked a little tired and her face was a little pale. Do you want some water? No, thank you. Should I call you a young lady or Huamin? Mo Shui smiled bitterly and continued to ask. You can call me whatever you like, I don't mind. Then I'll call you Huamin. Huamin nodded. After a moment of silence, Mo Shui looked up at Huamin and said, word for word, I'm pregnant. Huh? Huamin was shocked. Mo Shui was still single. She wasn't even married yet, but she was pregnant. After recovering from his shock, Huamin immediately asked, Hua Xiqian? Mo Shui nodded, Huamin didn't know what to say. Mo Shui and Hua Xiqian never announced that they were a couple, so her pregnancy was quite sudden. Does he know? He does. Then what did you guys talk about? Do you want to keep the child? Huamin asked calmly. Mo Shui took a deep breath and looked at Huamin. I came to find you because of this. Hua Xiqian wants me to abort the child. You know that we're just partners in bed. Ha, but I don't want to. I love him and I want to keep the child. Even if he doesn't marry me, I don't care. I just want to have the child. Then give birth to her. The child is in your belly. It's your freedom to keep her or not. Mo Shui smiled bitterly. That's impossible. You don't know Hua Xiqian at all. He won't agree. What can I do for you? Huamin asked the main point. Mo Shui must have come to her for a favor. Otherwise, she wouldn't have come all the way to South Side. Mo Shui was silent for a while. Then, she suddenly reached out and grabbed Huamin's wrist. Huamin, I'm begging you, please help me. Hua Xiqian, he loves you a lot. He'll definitely listen to you. Me? That's impossible. You've overestimated me. Hua Xiqian and I only have a mutually beneficial relationship. Then can you give it a try? Please take pity on me and my child. I beg you, Huamin. Mo Shui's tears fell as she spoke. Huamin's heart softened as he looked at her. A woman was pregnant with a man's child, but the man didn't want it and even forced her to abort it. It was indeed a sad thing. Shui, don't be like this, I don't have a choice. Huamin, I know we're not even friends. I'm begging you because I really don't have a choice. Hua Xiqian is too cold-blooded. He won't listen to anyone. Tell him that as long as I give birth to the child, I'm willing to stop acting and leave the entertainment industry. I'll take care of the child without asking for anything in return. This is actually a private matter between the two of you. I really don't have the right to interfere. You're his favorite sister. The truth is, I'm not really his sister. You know we're not related by blood. Huamin felt a little awkward. Hua Min. Mo Shua looked at Hua Min with tears in her eyes. In the end, Hua Min's heart was touched. She really wanted to get pregnant and have a baby, but there was no news about it. Now that Mo Shua was pregnant, even though she was unmarried, a superstar like her could easily have a child. Shua don't cry. I can help you. Chapter 12:10. Really? Really? But have you thought about it? If you can't marry him, the child will have a single-parent family. How will the child live without a father? Won't that be too hard for the child? You might as well find someone who's suitable for you, get married, and have a complete family. Hua Min, to be honest, I want to marry Hua Xiqian for the rest of my life. I want to marry him. Then, did you tell him? When he was with me before, he already reminded me in advance that when we're together, we can play however we want. I can get whatever money I want, but he can't marry me. I was the one who asked for too much. I couldn't control myself and fell into his trap. I can't blame him. It must be hard for you to think that way. Hua Min sympathized with Mo Shua. Mo Shua bit her lip and didn't say anything else. How far along are you? A little over 5 weeks. Mo Shua subconsciously touched her belly. Life is magical, maybe you two are fated to be together. Since you're pregnant, take a break from work. I'll ask the company to give you a break. Thank you, Hua Min. Mo Shua was touched. You're welcome, this is what I should do. As for Hua Xiqian, I'll try, but I'm not sure if I'll succeed. He's a strange person sometimes, and I can't get him to listen to me. I know. Mo Shua nodded. But since you asked, I'll try my best. Hua Min, thank you so much, Mo Shua thanked him profusely. Then, she left the office. After she left, Hua Min was no longer in the mood to work. Mo Shua liked Hua Xiqian, and she had known about it for a long time. It was an open secret that the two of them had been in a relationship for a long time, and everyone in the industry knew about it. However, she didn't expect Mo Shua to be so serious about giving birth to the child. It was unbelievable. After all, Mo Shua was a superstar. Why would she do something like this? Looks like the magic of love is really powerful. No matter how smart a woman was or how noble her identity was, she would not be able to resist the desire of a moth flying into a flame. Thinking of this, Hua Min sighed slightly. Then, he picked up his phone and sent a WeChat message. Are you there? Here, Hua Xiqian replied instantly. This was the first time that Hua Min had sent her a WeChat message. It was truly a memorable moment. I have something to tell you. Sure, I'm all ears. Hua Xiqian sounded very happy. It's hard to explain on WeChat. Can we meet? Of course. You can set the time and place, and I'll be there on time. If Hua Xiqian hadn't heard Hua Min's voice message, she would have thought that her WeChat account had been hacked. Not only did she take the initiative to send him a WeChat message, she even asked him to meet up. Was this really the cold and gentle girl he knew? Hua Min looked at his watch. How about this, 6:30 p.m. at Rhine River Cafe on East 3rd Road, you know where it is, right? Okay, I'll be there. Then, Hua Min sent a WeChat message to Qin Chu, saying that he had something to talk to Hua Xiqian about and that he didn't have to come to South Side to pick him up. Qin Chu respected Hua Min's personal space and privacy. Therefore, he was very straightforward and told him to call when he was done and pick her up. After work, Hua Min changed into a medium-length black cotton jacket and a white scarf. Then, he hailed a taxi and went to the cafe. Hua Xiqian was already there. After taking over Hua Zhenghai's role, he became a lot more high-profile. His white Maserati was replaced by a gold Rolls-Royce Phantom. Hua Min walked in and walked towards Hua Xiqian. Hua Xiqian picked up a bouquet of lilies from his seat and handed it to him. Since this is the first time you took the initiative to treat me to coffee, I bought you a bouquet of flowers on the way. If you don't like it, you can throw it away when you leave. After hearing what Hua Xiqian said, Hua Min couldn't refuse. He took the flowers and casually placed them on the seat beside him. Thank you. Little sister Mian, you look good these days, you've become prettier. Hua Xiqian held his coffee and looked at Hua Min with a smile. Let's get down to business. Did you know that Immerse is pregnant? Chapter 12:11. I know, Hua Xiqian said casually, as if he didn't think it was important. The child is yours, right? She told you that? Hua Xiqian narrowed his eyes and sized up Hua Min. Answer me first, right? Yes, so what? Hua Xiqian replied. Immerse came to me. She wants to keep the child. Of course, it would be best if you could marry her. It'd be the best of both worlds. Marry her? Are you crazy? Ha! Hua Xiqian smiled coldly. Before Hua Min could say anything, Hua Xiqian sat up straight and leaned closer to Hua Min. Mian, this is just a game for adults. It has nothing to do with love. When I first got together with Immerse, I told her that I wouldn't marry her. We were together for what we each needed. All these years, I've spent a lot of money to support her. Isn't that great? If she wants to get married, I won't interfere. But you also have to deal with her accidental pregnancy properly, right? At least give me an explanation. After all, she's a victim. Hua Min was more feminine. He thought that accidental pregnancy was because the man was too selfish. If he didn't want it, he should have just worn a condom. If he didn't, he would have been a scumbag if he wanted to have fun but didn't want to take responsibility. After she asked this question, Hua Xiqian sneered again, victim? Her? You mean a woman who set me up, got herself pregnant, and used all kinds of methods to force me to marry her? You said she's a victim. That's the funniest joke I've ever heard. What forced marriage? What scheme? Hua Min immediately asked, sensing that something was fishy. When we were together, we always wore condoms. Last time, I also wore condoms. But she still got pregnant. What does that mean? Isn't it because she tampered with the condoms herself? Hua Min, then, she pretended to be pitiful and said that she didn't want any status. On one hand, she went to the media to expose it. On the other hand, she asked you to be her lobbyist. You said that such a person is a victim. Why can't I see it? Hua Min, she's not as pitiful as you think she is. I remember telling you to stay away from her. Don't be fooled by her. How should I put it? She's actually quite scary. Even Song Yishe is no match for her. So, don't get involved in our business. You're involved in this mess too. But Hua Min still wanted to say something, but he was interrupted by Hua Xiqian. Waiter, give her a fruit salad. Actually, I don't understand. If you're single, why can't you marry Immerse? She's pretty good. At least she's not worse than those so-called socialites. Is it because you want your family to form a marriage alliance and consolidate your position that you'd rather have her abort your child than give her a home? Mian, I've had a wife in mind for many years, but she's not Immerse. Hua Xiqian said word by word with a serious expression on his face. Hua Min, on the other hand, was slightly surprised. Just then, a few women walked in, the voices sounded familiar. Hua Min turned around and saw that it was Song Yishuan and a few of her best friends. Song Yishuan had just walked in when she saw Hua Min, and her face immediately turned awkward. Yishuan, what's wrong? I don't want to drink coffee here anymore. Let's go. Then, Song Yishuan turned around and left. She kept her promise and backed away from Hua Min as soon as she saw him. Mian, I heard that you won a car race against the Song sisters. Hua Xiqian changed the topic. Chapter 12:12. How did you know? That aerial video is really popular on WeChat. I recognized your car right away. Hua Xiqian smiled. Hua Min was speechless. When she thought of that damned video taken by some meddlesome fellow, she was furious. If it wasn't for that video, how would Mr. Qin know about it? How would she be tortured by Mr. Qin the entire night? Ms. Song and her sister. I think they really want to die, Hua Xiqian said slowly with a cup of coffee in his hand. You hate them too? Yeah, but it won't be long before you see retribution. What do you mean? Hua Min didn't understand. Bitches will be punished by the heavens, so I don't think the Song sisters will have a good ending. Hua Xiqian smiled meaningfully. I'm talking to you about Imo Shui. You sure know how to change the subject. Hua Min looked at him, speechless. You don't have to talk about Imo Shui. She's smart enough to ask you for help. Tell her that it doesn't matter who she asks. She has to get an abortion, or else I won't let her get away with it. Then, Hua Xiqian stood up. Before he left, he smiled at Hua Min. Your hairstyle today is beautiful, I like it. Hua Min froze. She subconsciously touched her hair. It was still in a bun, just like every other day. She didn't know why this guy suddenly said something like that. After Hua Xiqian left, she called Imo Shui. She meant that she tried her best but didn't succeed. Imo Shui wasn't in a good mood, but she didn't say anything. She hurriedly thanked Hua Min and hung up. Hua Min then called Qin Chu. 15 minutes later, Qin Chu appeared at the entrance of the coffee shop. Did you wait long? Honey? No, just for a little while. Hua Min smiled. She didn't take the lilies and left them in the coffee shop. She didn't want to make Mr. Qin jealous. What do you want to eat tonight? Qin Chu asked. Whatever. I don't have much of an appetite recently. No appetite? Could it be? Qin Chu didn't finish his sentence. Hua Min immediately explained, no, my period just came today. Oh. Qin Chu nodded and didn't say anything else. However, there was no disappointment in his eyes. He had already let nature take its course when it came to children. It would be better if they had children, but he wouldn't be disappointed if they didn't. He also wouldn't pressure Hua Min. What did you talk about with Hua Xiqian? About the Hua Corporation? Qin Chu chatted casually. No, it's about his personal matters. Mo Shui is pregnant and wants to marry Hua Xiqian. Hua Xiqian won't agree, Qin Chu said. How do you know? Hua Min thought it was quite strange. Hua Xiqian never cared about Mo Shui why would he marry her? Hua Xiqian did tell me that he already had a wife in mind many years ago, so he won't marry Mo Shui That's strange. Who is it that he's been thinking about for so many years? Is it his first love from school? Hua Min muttered curiously. Qin Chu glanced at Hua Min with a complicated expression. Did he tell you that? Yeah. Hua Min nodded. Honey, in the future, if possible, don't meet Hua Xiqian alone. I don't really like him. Okay. Hua Min nodded obediently. On an island in Southeast Asia, a hot girl in a bikini sat on a rock by the sea. She picked up her phone and said to the other end, Dad, I entered the country a while ago and went to Sea City. I saw her. Are you crazy? How many times have I told you not to look for her? Don't look for her. The old man on the other end of the phone yelled in exasperation, but I miss her a lot. The girl said with a happy smile on her face. Then, how is she doing now? The old man's voice was a little agitated. He seemed to really want to know more about her. Chapter 12:13. She's doing great, she's doing great. Her brain didn't go to waste. She became a doctor, a very good doctor. The girl smiled. That's good. The old man's words seemed to have a deeper meaning. Dad, when can we go and meet her? I can't wait, now's not the time, you can't mess around. If you don't want to kill her, then don't go. You can't even enter the country, there are too many people watching you. You're taking too much risk, I'm doing it because. Before the girl could finish her sentence, the old man cut her off. The old man angrily hung up the phone, the girl pouted and threw her phone onto the beach. She took out the work pass that she had painstakingly stolen from the bag beside her. She gently touched it, then, she repeated the words, neurology attending physician, Huamin, Huamin. When she said Huamin's name, her eyes were filled with endless gentleness. Song Yisher had been staying at the first hospital ever since she raced with Song Yishuan at Mount Akina. Actually, with her condition, she should have stayed at South Side to recuperate, but she hated Huamin too much. Also, she promised Huamin that if she lost, she and Song Yishuan would have to avoid Huamin. Therefore, she had no choice but to stay at the first hospital. Song Yisher's other body parts were fine, but her nose was a little dented. When the car fell, her head hit the bridge of her nose. If it was an original nose, it would have been fine, since it would only be a slight fracture. However, her nose had been surgically repaired and had to be injected several times before it was fixed. Just like that, her nose was ruined. Song Yisher was furious and didn't talk to Song Yishuan for a few days. Song Yishuan didn't dare to see her cousin either. After she was discharged from the hospital, she had been hiding. On the hospital bed, the medical staff removed the white gauze from her nose. The Song family funded a second plastic surgery for Song Yisher's nose. Not only did they spend many years importing injections from abroad, but they also spent many years importing injections. He even hired a famous plastic surgeon from the capital city. Mayor Song really doted on his daughter. Song Yisher held up the mirror and looked at her nose after her plastic surgery, looking left and right. Give it a try. What do you think? Lady Song looked at her daughter nervously. It's just so. Song Yisher didn't seem particularly satisfied. Why do I feel like you're even prettier than before? Look at how voluptuous and perky you are. You're even prettier than before, Lady Song comforted her daughter. I think so, all right. My little ancestor, as long as you're well, it's fine. You really scared your mother to death. Tell me, why are you hanging out with that lunatic Xian? If something really happened, how do you want your mother to live? Don't mention that crazy woman to me. I believe that she regretted it until she died. She almost got me killed. Song Yisher's face darkened at the thought of her cousin. Okay, she was scared out of her wits and was scolded to death by your uncle. Let's be careful this time and drive slower in the future. Mom, does the Qin family know that I'm hospitalized? They do, I told Qin Chu's mother on WeChat. But, why didn't they come to see me? Song Yisher asked. Qin Chu's mother said that she went abroad. As for Qin Chu, he probably doesn't know, right? Mom, call Qin Chu and tell him that I'm in the hospital. Sure, is that necessary? Lady Song didn't understand her daughter's actions. What was the point of calling Qin Chu when she was hospitalized? Of course, I want him to feel bad and know that I'm in this state because of his wife. If Huamin didn't hate me and forced Xian to put me in the passenger seat, I wouldn't have gotten into this accident. That woman has ulterior motives. She's afraid that I'll steal Qin Chu away from her, so she wants to kill me. What a vicious woman. But, do you think Qin Chu will believe you? Lady Song was slightly worried. Chapter 12-14. He didn't believe me once or twice, but if I tell him more often, maybe he'll slowly believe me. It's a long road to winning Qin Chu's heart. Mom, I'm not in a hurry, I just want results. As long as Qin Chu is mine in the end, that's enough. I'm willing to do anything. Song Yisher's eyes flashed with a cold light. Lady Song frowned slightly, however, she couldn't dissuade her daughter, so she called Qin Chu. Hello. Huamin picked up the phone because Qin Chu was in the shower. I'm Yisher's mother. Oh, how can I help you? Huamin was quite polite. Oh, where's Chin Chu? I'm looking for Chin Chu. He's in the shower. I'm his wife, you can tell me if you need anything. Sure is sick and hospitalized. After all, Chin Chu and my daughter grew up together, so I hope he can come visit. Of course, we don't want any gifts, the Song family doesn't lack anything. We just need a friend's sympathy. I hope you can pass it to Chin Chu. Oh, I see. Okay, I understand. Huamin nodded and hung up the phone. Mom, what did he say? Did he come? Song Yishe placed the mirror in her hand on the bed and asked anxiously. Huamin picked it up. Why is it her? Song Yishe was a little angry. She said Chin Chu was in the shower. That woman is a scheming bitch, she's trying to break me and Chin Chu apart. She's so shameless. Song Yishe was furious. Don't be angry, maybe she's telling the truth. Although Lady Song loved her daughter, she didn't think Chin Chu's wife was such a bad woman. Mom, what do you know? Huamin is very scheming, or else I wouldn't be in this state. Song Yishe yelled at her mother. Sure, don't be so agitated, this is just right, you should get better. Get better? I don't know if Chin Chu will come visit me. If he doesn't, what's the point of staying here? Hurry up and leave the hospital. It's so annoying. I hate the smell of doctors the most. The formalin is as smelly as the smell of corpses. And these people in white coats, every one of them, I hate, damn doctors. Song Yishe was extremely irritated at the hospital. Because of her prejudice against Huamian, she was also prejudiced against doctors. Whenever she saw a doctor in a white coat, she would be annoyed. Seeing her daughter like this, Mrs. Song didn't dare to say anything else. She didn't want to agitate her. South, Chin Chu came out of the shower. His lower body was wrapped in a towel, and his upper body was covered in bronze-colored abs. Huamian gulped and picked up her phone. Honey, it's your call. I'll answer it for you. Who is it? Chin Chu asked as he dried his hair. Song Yishe's mother. What's up? Mr. Chin was expressionless. He didn't care about the Song family. Song Yishe. Wasn't she injured? She was in the hospital because of the car race. Lady Song wants you to go see her daughter. Why should I? I heard that you two grew up together, right? Me and her. Chin Chu sneered. She lived with us for a year, and we barely spoke to each other. She said we grew up together. The Song family sure likes to flatter themselves, so, honey, do you want to go see her? I heard that Song Yishuan only suffered some superficial injuries, but Song Yishe's nose was caved in from the fall. What do you think? Chin Chu glanced at Huamin and asked. Chapter 12:15. If I don't go, will Mayor Song be unhappy? I don't care if the mayor is happy or not. Honey, why are you still standing here if you're not going to take a shower? Mr. Chin asked. I'm on my way, haha. After Huamin answered, she ran into the bathroom like a puff of smoke. Looking at Huamin's petite figure, Chin Chu smiled dotingly. Then, he picked up his phone and turned it off. He wasn't interested in the Song family, nor would he be in the future. The next morning, under the name of the Chin clan couple, Huamin sent a flower basket to Song Yishe's room. Huamin thought that since the Song family wanted to express their condolences, he would give them one. She didn't want to make it seem like she didn't want Chin Chu to visit Song Yishe. However, when Song Yishe saw the flower basket, her hair stood on end. This Huamin obviously has ulterior motives. Why would he give me this? He's cursing me to death. What's wrong? Sure. How is she cursing you when she gave you flowers? Lady Song was dumbfounded to see her daughter throw a tantrum so early in the morning. If he wanted to give me a gift, he should have given me flowers. This flower basket looks like a wreath, it's obviously cursing me. Also, look at the signature, it says Chin clan couple. Isn't he trying to piss me off? Forget it, throw it away, you damned woman. Song Yi-shi kicked the flower basket away. Lady Song had no choice but to ask the nurse to take it away. Song Yi-shi saw that Qin Chu wouldn't come, so she reluctantly left the hospital and went home to recuperate. Another week passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, Song Yi-shi officially recovered from her illness. In order to curry favor with the mayor's daughter, all the socialites and heirs in the industry held a private banquet. To celebrate, the mayor and his daughter threw her a private party. Hua Xiqian was also invited. He drove his Rolls-Royce Phantom to the private room on the top floor of Seductive Fox. There were more than 30 people inside, both men and women. The smell of cigarettes was very strong in the private room. Some people were singing, some were drinking, and some were playing finger-guessing games. The main character, Song Yi-shi, was wearing a white strapless dress and sitting in the middle of the sofa. He didn't seem to be in a good mood. Hi, Miss Song. Young Master Hua. Song Yi-shi raised her head and nodded. Congratulations on your discharge. Hua Xiqian raised a glass of wine. Thank you. The two of them gently clinked their glasses before downing the contents in one go. Then, Hua Xiqian sat on the other side and started to joke around with the socialites. Song Yi-shi, on the other hand, was surrounded by a few playboys who were fawning over her. Sure, do you want to go to the Maldives? I'll treat you to a vacation, a rich second-generation heir said with a smile. Not interested. Song Yi-shi coldly refused. What kind of joke was this? Wasn't the Maldives where Huamin and Qin Chu went on their honeymoon? She never planned on going there again. Miss Song, I'm going out to sea on a cruise tomorrow. Let's go together, and enjoy the sea breeze. I'm sorry, I haven't fully recovered yet. I can't enjoy the sea breeze, Song Yi-shi continued to refuse. Little sister sure. I heard that there's a beautiful jade hairpin from the Han Dynasty at the auction next week. I want to buy it for you. Can you come with me? I'm sorry, I don't like antiques. Song Yi-shi's arrogance made most of the playboys turn her down. Thus, everyone stopped crowding around her. Just then, Hua Xiqian walked out of the crowd and sat down beside Song Yi-shi. I heard that you were hospitalized because you were racing with my little sister. Why are you asking the obvious? You did it on purpose, didn't you? Song Yi-shi coldly looked at Hua Xiqian. Ha! I know you like Qin Chu. To be honest, I don't like Qin Chu being with my little sister either. I want to break them up too. Upon hearing what Hua Xiqian said, Song Yi-shi froze for a second. Then, she asked in surprise, what do you mean? Maybe we can work together. I think, after all, there's strength in numbers. Work together. Song Yi-shi was surprised by Hua Xiqian's suggestion. Chapter 12-16. After all, there's strength in numbers. There's a limit to what you can do alone. But, why should I believe you? How do I know that you're not on Huamin's side, and that you're trying to set me up? Song Yi-shi was very smart. She obviously didn't believe Hua Xiqian's words. I believe that you're a smart person and can analyze the situation yourself. First of all, Huamin and I aren't related by blood. She's an illegitimate daughter, and I'm adopted. Second of all, the battle for the shares of the Hua Corporation has always been intense. I'm more interested in her shares, but I can't do anything about it. She's even working with Qin Chu to deal with me, which makes me very unhappy. Third of all, I don't like Qin Chu. Whatever he wants, I feel uncomfortable. So, I'd rather destroy Huamin than let her be by Qin Chu's side. Basically, if they're doing well, I feel uncomfortable. After Hua Xiqian said this, Song Yi-shi looked at him suspiciously. The two of them didn't speak for a long time. In the end, Song Yi-shi couldn't hold it in anymore and asked, do you have any good ideas? I do, have an idea. What is it? Song Yi-shi asked anxiously. Hua Xiqian looked around and said in a low voice, Miss Song, there are too many people here, so it's not convenient. How about this, I'll drive you back after this, and we'll talk in the car. Song Yisher thought for a moment, hesitated for a few seconds, and finally nodded. Okay. Half an hour later, Song Yisher got impatient and announced the end of the party. Then, she refused to be escorted by her friends and got into Hua Xiqian's car. Can you tell me now? What is it? Song Yisher really wanted to separate Qin Chu and Hua Xiqian, so she couldn't wait. Hua Xiqian smiled, not in a hurry to answer. Instead, he took out a bottle of mineral water and handed it to Song Yisher. Don't worry, we have plenty of time. Come, drink some water first. I'm not thirsty, thank you. Song Yisher pushed the bottle of mineral water away. She was actually very cautious. She would not casually drink something that was given to her by others. Hua Xiqian smiled. Then, he opened the bottle of mineral water and gulped it down. Song Yisher looked at him with a complicated expression. As he screwed the cap back on, he said, actually, the key to unraveling them is really you. We need you to complete this plan. What's the plan? Tell me about it. Song Yisher made up her mind. Hua Xiqian had a perfect plan. Otherwise, she wouldn't be wasting her breath here with him. My plan is very complicated. I plan to tell you slowly. Just then, Hua Xiqian turned on the heater in the car. Song Yisher smelled a strange smell and sneezed twice in a row. What's that strange smell in your car? Song Yisher asked with a frown. Actually, just as Hua Xiqian said this, Song Yisher's vision went black and she fainted. TSK TSK. I thought you were smart, but you're just a self-righteous idiot. Compared to Mian, you're overestimating yourself. Miss Song, have a good night's sleep. Tomorrow, you'll be surprised. After speaking, Hua Xiqian reached out his hand and flicked her cheek with a strange smile on his face. The next morning, Song Yisher slowly woke up. She suddenly thought of something and sat up with a whoosh. Her mind was still blank. Just then, the bathroom door opened and Hua Xiqian walked out. Good morning. Miss Song. Song Yisher was dumbfounded. She remembered that last night in Hua Xiqian's car, they were about to talk about a plan. Then, she felt dizzy. Then, she completely lost consciousness. Now, she was sitting on the bed naked, and Hua Xiqian walked out of the bathroom. The two of them were in a hotel. At this thought, Song Yisher didn't dare to think any further. Hua Xiqian, how dare you trick me? Song Yisher was furious. Chapter 12-17. Song Yisher curled herself up in bed and refused to raise her head. Never in her wildest dreams did she think that she would be played by Hua Xiqian. Hua Xiqian walked over. Miss Song, you need to face reality. Song Yisher jumped up and tried to slap Hua Xiqian across the face. However, Hua Xiqian grabbed her wrist tightly. Since it was your first time, I'll forgive your rudeness, but don't do it again. I don't like rude women. After speaking, Hua Xiqian pushed Song Yisher onto the bed. Why did you do that? Song Yisher clenched her fists and glared at Hua Xiqian. She wanted to tear him into pieces. He had never felt so humiliated in his life before. What's there to explain? Hua Xiqian lit a cigarette and said nonchalantly. You're despicable and shameless. Didn't you say that you wanted to discuss the plan with me last night? If I didn't say that, would you have gotten in my car? Hua Xiqian smiled. Song Yisher was furious. Why did you do that? Did I ever offend you? Look at what you're saying. I only slept with you, how is that offending you? Miss Song, you're beautiful and have a good family background. You have no lack of suitors. I've been in love with you for a long time. It's just that my methods are a little more direct. Bastard, how dare you do this to me? Aren't you afraid that I'll tell my dad and kill you? Song Yisher pointed at Hua Xiqian and threatened him, you're welcome to kill me. Hua Xiqian spread his hands. He didn't seem to care. I'm going to tell my dad that you drugged me. That's rape, do you know that? go ahead. It's best if you talk to your dad about whether or not you want to marry me. What nonsense are you talking about? Who wants to marry you? Why don't you take a look at yourself? You're just an adopted son, a dog. Why should I marry you? Dream on. Anyway, just wait to be caught. After speaking, Song Yishe hurriedly grabbed her clothes, put them on, and left in a hurry. She walked out of the hotel, still thinking that everything was a dream. Hua Xiqian didn't seem like a man who was interested in her. Why would he do something like this? Wasn't he afraid of offending her dad? How dare he? Song hailed a taxi and went to the Song's house. Mrs. Song was also surprised to see her like this. Sure, what's wrong? Why didn't you come home last night? Mrs. Song was extremely worried when she saw her daughter return with disheveled hair and dirty face. Mom, I'll go upstairs to take a shower and change my clothes first. Song Yishe forced herself to calm down. She went upstairs to take a shower and changed into a clean set of clothes. She carefully reorganized the events of last night. The more she thought about it, the more she felt like it was a trap. Hua Xiqian purposely teamed up with her, tricked her into the car, and drugged her. At first, she didn't even drink the water Hua Xiqian handed her because she was wary of him. But later on, she smelled a strange smell in the car and then lost consciousness. Hua Xiqian took her to the hotel, and then, what happened this morning? So, Hua Xiqian never wanted to deal with Hua Min. They were all bait, but what was her purpose in doing so? Was it just to sleep with her? The strange thing was, Song Yishe didn't feel uncomfortable. It didn't seem like she was violated last night. After all, she was sure of that, but it didn't make sense. If he didn't violate her, then why did he take her to a hotel to spend the night? At this thought, Song Yishe rushed downstairs. Sure. Lady Song walked up to her. Mom, I'm going out for a bit. I'll talk to you later. Chapter 12-18. Song Yishe put on her sunglasses and drove straight to the OB/GYN department of the first hospital. After the results came out, her suspicions were confirmed. There were no traces of drugs, and she didn't find any condoms at the hotel. Therefore, Hua Xiqian didn't touch her at all. What was he trying to do? Just as she was thinking, Song Yishe's phone rang. She picked it up impatiently. Hello? Give it a try. Have you seen the news? What news? Song Yishe frowned slightly. You probably don't know yet. I'll send you a link, take a look. Then, her best friend hung up. Song Yishe received a link on WeChat. She clicked on it and was completely dumbfounded. The title was eye-catching. Socialite's daughter and son's relationship is suspected, and they spent the night together at a hotel. The first photo was of Hua Xiqian carrying her into a hotel. The second photo was of the two of them in bed. The so-called bed photo was actually a photo of their faces touching each other when they were asleep. It was obvious that they posed for the photo. The third photo was of her sneaking out of the hotel this morning. With these three photos, her relationship with Hua Xiqian was basically confirmed. Even though she knew that they didn't actually have sex, outsiders wouldn't look at these photos, they would only look at the photos. Damn it! Hua Xiqian. Song Yishe clenched her fists tightly. She bit her lips so hard that they turned white. The person who leaked the photos must have been Hua Xiqian himself, because the second photo was so close to her, so it must have been him. She picked up her phone and dialed a number. What? You miss my mom already? Hua Xiqian was still smiling proudly. Hua Xiqian, what do you want? Song Yishe gritted her teeth and asked word by word. Marry me. I like you so much, and we even slept together. I have to be responsible for you. Who wants to marry you? Who wants you to take responsibility for her? You better delete the photos immediately. I'm really sorry. The news has already spread. I guess everyone knows about it now. It's useless to mend the pen after the sheep are lost. I have no enmity with you. Why do you want to harm me? Song Yishur was about to explode from anger. I'm not harming you. I just want to marry you. There are so many women. Why me? Because your father is the mayor. Hua Xiqian was realistic. After hearing this, Song Yishur was so angry that she wanted to swear. She hung up the phone with a bang. When he returned to the Song family, his entire face was dark. Sure, you're finally back. What's going on with the news? Your dad just called me to ask about it. I don't know either. Your dad is furious, Mom. I was set up. Yeah. Hua Xiqian set me up. There's nothing going on between us. He wants a father-in-law like my dad. That's why he set me up. I was too naive. I actually believed him and got into his car. He was the one who leaked the photos and the news. Then, what should we do now? When is Dad coming back? The day after tomorrow. He's in a meeting in Jing City. Lady Song was also very anxious. Oh no, what should we do? Song Yishur was also panicking. How was she going to deal with this crisis when her dad wasn't home? Most importantly, everything happened so suddenly that she was caught off guard. She never thought that Hua Xiqian would do something to her. Chapter 12-19. Song Yishur originally wanted to sue Hua Xiqian for violating her and claiming that she was drugged and raped. However, those were all words she said out of anger. After she calmed down, she realized that she couldn't say those words. Putting everything else aside, if her father's identity was exposed, how would she survive in the future? Plus, she was a socialite. If news of her being raped were exposed, how would she get married in the future? Not to mention competing with Qin Chu, reputation was too important. If this was exposed, it would be the biggest scandal in C City. The mayor's daughter was raped. Wouldn't that be a joke? Hua Xiqian probably knew that she didn't dare to call the police or bite back. That was probably why he was so ostentatious. Song Yishur wasn't satisfied, so she called Hua Xiqian again. Baby sure, I'm in a meeting. He purposely said in front of all the board of directors. Hua Xiqian, you just want to use my father's power to help you expand your territory. How about this, if you have any requests, I'll ask my father to help you. However, you have to release a joint statement with me to prove that we were framed and that the photos were photoshopped. Sure, are you kidding me? The photos are real, how could they be photoshopped? Hua Xiqian laughed. Hua Xiqian, is there no room for negotiation? Of course, let's get married. Fuck you, get married, you idiot. This was the first time in Song Yishur's life that she cursed. Hua Xiqian really forced her into a corner. She wanted to kill him to vent her anger. Faced with Song Yishur's curses, Hua Xiqian smiled slightly. Baby, stop messing around, I'm in a meeting. See you later. In front of outsiders, everyone thought that Hua Xiqian and Song Yishur were in a relationship. Even their friends who had hung out with them that night thought that the two of them had gotten drunk and gotten together. Song Yishur's phone was bombarded with messages. There were media reporters, close friends, and some unrelated people. She was about to go crazy from anger. At this moment, she thought of someone who might be able to save her. GK headquarters, Miss Song, our boss is having a meeting. It's okay, I'll wait here. Ugh. Yang really didn't like Song Yishur now because she knew that their boss was married, yet she still wanted to fight with a young lady over him. Most importantly, she was a troublemaker, always finding fault with Hua Min. Fortunately, a young lady was more open-minded and didn't want to lower herself to her level. Sometimes, Yang thought that a young lady was actually quite tired. She had to be on guard against all kinds of vixens every day, including Jiang Linyue and Song Yishur. He was even on guard against his cousin who came from the countryside. What Yang didn't know was that his boss was even more tired. He had to be on guard against Su Yu, Hua Xiqian, and even an award-winning actor from out of town. He had to constantly worry about his wife being flirted with. That was enough to worry about. That was why it wasn't easy to live at the top of the pyramid, men and women alike. Song Yisher was determined to not leave until she saw Qin Chu. Qin Chu waited for 40 minutes until it was almost noon before the meeting with the executives came to an end. As soon as he returned to his office, he saw Song Yisher sitting there. Qin Chu, you're back. Song Yisher immediately stood up. Qin Chu turned around and glanced at Yang with a murderous look in his eyes. Boss, I tried to talk to Miss Song, but she refused to leave. She said she had something urgent to talk to you about, Yang said innocently. Chapter 12:20. You can leave now. After Qin Chu finished speaking, he coldly glanced at Song Yisher. What's the matter? Qin Chu, you're the only one who can help me now. My dad is in a meeting in Jing City and can't come back. Other than my dad, you're the person I trust the most, so you have to help me. What's the matter? Seeing Song Yisher speak with tears in her eyes, Qin Chu only felt annoyed. He hated it when women cried and wailed to gain sympathy. His Mian wouldn't be like this. Have you seen the news? What news? The one about me and Huo Xiqian, no. Here's the thing, I was set up by Huo Xiqian. He set me up for his own benefit and forced me to marry him because of my father's status. I don't want to marry him, but there are so many rumors going around that I can't clear my name. Can you help me? After thinking for a while, Qin Chu said something that almost made Song Yisher vomit blood. He said, I think you and Huo Xiqian are a good match. Song Yisher's face turned green when she heard this. She smiled awkwardly. Qin Chu, are you joking with me? I never joke with people I don't know well, Qin Chu said with a serious expression. But I don't like Huo Xiqian. Then why are there photos of you in bed? Qin Chu turned on his phone and saw that his WeChat moments were all over the news. The 3 photos were clear. He raised his phone and showed it to Song Yisher. Song Yisher felt extremely awkward. She exposed photos of her in bed with another man in front of the man she liked. There was nothing more tragic than this. Although she and Huo Xiqian really didn't do anything, who would believe it? Other than the person involved, no one would believe it. Everyone would only believe what they saw with their own eyes. I fell into his trap. Last night, he told me he wanted to talk to me about something at Seductive Fox. I got into his car and was mesmerized by him. Then, he took me to a hotel. That's rape, you know. I'm innocent. It was that despicable Huo Xiqian who framed me. If that's the case, you should tell the police. I can't tell you. It's about my father's and my reputation. Then it's useless to look for me. I can't help you. I was wondering if you could find someone to suppress the public opinion and help me release a statement saying that we were together last night and that those photos were photoshopped. Sorry, I can't help you, Qin Chu, I'm begging you. Song Yisher cried as she walked over. She actually wanted to throw herself into Qin Chu's arms, hug him, and cry. She wanted him to be gentle with her. However, when she rushed over, Qin Chu suddenly dodged. Song Yisher's head hit the tempered glass. There was a loud bang. She didn't expect this, so she saw stars. Sir, what's wrong? Yang, who was outside the door, heard the commotion. He immediately opened the door and came in to check. Yang, see her out. Qin Chu, we've known each other for so many years. We grew up together. Don't tell me you. Before Song Yisher could finish, Qin Chu mercilessly interrupted her. Let me correct you. I don't even know you. You only lived in my house when you were young, but we didn't talk. So, basically, we don't have any feelings for each other. Don't mislead others with these words. After hearing Qin Chu's words, Song Yisher's expression turned cold. She never thought that Qin Chu could be so heartless. Why was he always so gentle to Huo Min? It was as if he couldn't bear to speak loudly to Huo Min. What was the difference between her and Huo Min? Miss Song, this way please. Yang saw an opportunity and walked up to her. Song Yisher helplessly covered her head and walked out in embarrassment. Southside Recuperation Center. Huamin was about to take a lunch break when her phone started ringing with WeChat notifications. She picked it up and was dumbfounded. Chapter 12:21. It turned out to be Huamin, Jiang Xiaowei, and Zhu Lingling's WeChat group. As the saying goes, 3 women make a show. This saying was true. Huamin was a person who didn't like to gossip, but after being influenced by the 2 of them, he slowly became one as well. The 3 of them often teased and joked in the group, and sometimes they even dug into the celebrities' private lives. Huamin was busy all morning, so he didn't know about the news about Hua Xiqian and Song Yisher. However, Zhu Lingling and Jiang Xiaowei were the 2 gossipers. Zhu Lingling, okay, take a look, the #1 scandal in C City. The mayor's daughter fooled around with a man in a hotel. How shameless. Jiang Xiaowei, does she have any shame? Ha, sleeping with Hua Xiqian is too good for her. At least Hua Xiqian is a handsome guy. It would be a miracle if she didn't find a gigolo. Huamin, everyone, what happened? What do you mean by sleeping together? Who slept with who? Zhu Lingling, Mian, your hospital doesn't have internet. Didn't you see the news? Jiang Xiaowei, here's the link. You're welcome. Please add me. Huamin clicked on the link that Jiang Xiaowei gave him and was dumbfounded. Hua Xiqian and Song Yisher. This was an unimaginable couple. There was no news about them before. What was going on? Huamin, is this real? Jiang Xiaowei, I don't think it's fake. Although they didn't say anything, I asked the technical department to analyze the photo. It wasn't photoshopped at all. The bed photo is real, so they must be having an affair. Maybe it was just a drunken hookup, but they were found out. Huamin, speechless. Zhu Lingling, Hua Xiqian's taste is terrible. Mo Shui is so pretty, she's even more real than Song Yisher. Why would he sleep with her? I don't understand, Jiang Xiaowei, I'm curious too. Last time at Hua Xiqian's cosplay party, I noticed that Hua Xiqian seemed to hate Song Yisher. There shouldn't be any sparks between them. Could it be? Zhu Lingling, what do you mean? What is Professor Zhang's opinion? Jiang Xiaowei, are you talking about avenging my Mian and getting rid of her scourge? Huamin, ugh. Huamin really didn't know what to say. However, when he thought about it carefully, Jiang Xiaowei's words made sense. Hua Xiqian had said more than once that he would help her deal with Song Yisher. At that time, she didn't think much of it and thought that he was just saying it casually. After all, Song Yisher was the mayor's daughter, so it wasn't easy to deal with her. Now that she saw the news that Hua Xiqian slept with Song Yisher, it was indeed shocking. Could this be the revenge that Hua Xiqian was talking about? This is really an accident, Zhu Lingling, I don't care so much. Anyway, bitch Song's scandal this time is really karma. With her scumbag appearance, she should have exposed some dirt a long time ago so that she doesn't have to act all high and mighty and pretend to be a goddess. It's disgusting. Jiang Xiaowei, you're right. This time, she'll suffer a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing how she deals with this, haha. Then, Jiang Xiaowei went to Sina Weibo. Many fans asked Jiang Xiaowei on her Weibo, is the Song goddess thing true? These fans had always thought that she and bitch Song were good friends. Jiang Xiaowei didn't say much. She only posted 2 words on Weibo, congratulations. What was worse was that she at Song Yisher and Hua Xiqian. This way, Hua Xiqian and Song Yisher's relationship was confirmed. Jiang Xiaowei's fans were in an uproar as they gossiped. Chapter 12:22. Ha, I told you it was real. Even Dr. Jiang came to congratulate them. Yeah, I didn't think that Song goddess would fall for President Hua. I heard that President Hua is a playboy. Wow, looks like our Weiwei knows the inside story. Isn't President Hua in a relationship with Mo Shuai? Why is he involved with Song Yisher? Gosh, the rich circle sure is messy. Don't talk about Shuai, you idiot. Mo Shuai's fans went crazy and started arguing. It seems like they're going to announce their relationship soon. Then, a large group of fans went to Song Yisher's Weibo to spam. Song Yisher's most recent Weibo post was last night when she was having a party at Seductive Fox. She took a selfie. It was beautiful. Then, she took a glass of red wine. She wrote, "I've recovered from a serious illness and have been discharged from the hospital. Thank you to everyone who cared about me." Fans started spamming this Weibo post. Goddess, is it true that you and President Hua are together? Sure, why did you choose Hua Xiqian? He's a playboy and has a bad reputation in the circle. Song Goddess, Hua Xiqian is in a relationship with Mo Shuai. You need to be careful. Pretty girl, do I have no chance? Boo-hoo, Goddess, when are you going to send us wedding candy? Congratulations, you're finally going to be single. We believe in your taste. It's hard to say right now. Don't make things worse. Our Shusher hasn't admitted it yet. It hasn't been confirmed yet. Didn't Dr. Jiang admit it? He even tagged Shusher. I think it's most likely true, right? Yeah, President Hua is single. Our Shusher is also single. They're a perfect match. No matter what, we'll give you our blessings and support your decisions. Sure, good luck. We love you. Baby Sure, can you send us a selfie? No matter how I look at it, you're still the prettiest. You're natural, unlike those plastic surgery bitches. Sure, I've always thought that you and President Qin are a perfect match. It's a pity that he's married. What a pity, I've always thought that you two would be a couple. Song Yisher inadvertently scrolled through Weibo and was about to go crazy. This matter was already messy enough, and Jiang Xiaowei actually came to add insult to injury, which really made her choke with anger. However, there was no way for her to clarify the matter unilaterally. After all, she wasn't sure if Hua Xiqian had more shocking revelations, so she could only swallow her anger. After this matter was exposed, there was another person who was extremely concerned about it. It was Mo Shuai. It was true that she was pregnant. It was also true that she was pregnant with Hua Xiqian's child. However, she did not expect such a thing to happen between Hua Xiqian and Song Yisher at this critical juncture. In this way, the matter of her using the child to force him to marry her would be far in the future. Hua Group headquarters. Mo Shuai walked in wearing high heels and a dark brown cashmere coat. She looked like a queen. The truth was, Mo Shuai was pretty good in all aspects. It was just that Hua Xiqian never wanted to marry her. Xiqian, why are you here? Hua Xiqian looked up. I'm here to congratulate you. Congratulations on finally finding a good wife for yourself. Song Yisher is really good, and most importantly, her father is good. Mo Shuai's mocking tone was so obvious that Hua Xiqian could obviously hear it. If you're here to mock me, then go ahead. I'm going back to work. Hua Xiqian didn't care what Mo Shuai said. He didn't need to explain to anyone what he had decided on. Seeing Hua Xiqian like this made Mo Shuai even angrier. She walked over in a few steps, grabbed the documents in Hua Xiqian's hands, and threw them to the side. Hua Xiqian, are you serious this time? You chose Song Yisher. Chapter 12:23. So what? What does that have to do with you? Hua Xiqian raised his head and retorted mercilessly. Mo Shuai's heart ached as she clutched her stomach. I always thought that even if I couldn't marry you, giving birth to your child would be a blessing. At least, you can't marry me because of someone you like. But, the person you like isn't Song Yisher. Why did you marry her? Didn't you say it yourself? Because she has a good father. Hua Xiqian didn't think much of it. Mo Shui shook her head. You can fool others, but you can't fool me. With your abilities, you don't need Mayor Song's help. You don't need to sacrifice yourself for them. You're only doing this for one person, right? Upon hearing this, Hua Xiqian's expression changed slightly. Stop trying to be smart with me, it's not good for you to talk too much. Hua Xiqian stared at Mo Shui with a hint of annoyance. Logically speaking, after being together for so many years, they understood each other and their feelings for each other should be quite deep. Even if they didn't love each other, after sleeping with each other for so long, there should be something going on. However, Hua Xiqian felt like Mo Shui was becoming less and less cute. She clearly didn't have a high IQ, but she liked to pretend to be smart. She was always a busybody, and in the past year, she didn't talk much either. He was tired of her, so sometimes, he would rather sleep with young plastic surgery models than touch her. Are you scared? Ha! I'm going to say it. Does she know that you've done so much for her? Actually, you're quite pitiful. You're not even as honest as Suyu. At least Suyu dares to speak his mind and tell the whole world how he feels about her. You, on the other hand, are just like a rat who can only hide in the dark and watch her. Or rather, covet her. But she doesn't know what you're thinking. She'll never know, haha. Mo Shui was also triggered by Hua Xiqian and Song Yishe. That was why she said these things without caring about her image. Hua Xiqian was really angry, so he suddenly stood up. She grabbed Mo Shui by the neck. Then, he pinned her down and pushed her against the wall. Do you believe that I can make you disappear from this world anytime I want? Then, so what? It doesn't matter if I die or not, but as long as Qin Chu is alive, you will never get Hua Min. Hua Xiqian was infuriated by Mo Shui's words. He grabbed Mo Shui's neck and lifted her up slowly. With a bang, he was thrown 3 meters away. Mo Shui felt dizzy from the fall. She lay on the ground, unable to get up no matter how hard she tried. Hua Xiqian was scary when he was angry, but when Hua Xiqian was scary, he was also cold and heartless. Mo Shui felt a sharp pain in her stomach. Dark red blood splattered out from under her body. My child. She lay on the ground, her face pale. I never wanted to have a child. People like me shouldn't have children, because when they're born, they'll be even scarier than I am. After speaking, Hua Xiqian sneered and dialed an internal number. Take her to the hospital. Mo Shui was sent to the first hospital by Hua Xiqian's employees. She couldn't keep the child, so she immediately had an abortion when she arrived at the hospital. Mo Shui lay on the operating table with tears in her eyes. She hated Hua Xiqian, and she also hated the woman that Hua Xiqian had been obsessed with for so many years. After work, Hua Min came out and saw Qin Chu's car parked outside. She happily got into the car. Honey, I'm a little hungry. So, do you want to have sex in the car? Qin Chu faintly replied. Chapter 12:24. Ahem, what are you talking about? I'm really hungry, not that kind of hungry. She was speechless to have a dirty-minded husband at home. Qin Chu smiled slightly and drove away. What are we eating? Honey? Gao Ran and the others are waiting for us to eat hot pot. Is Bashu restaurant okay? That's great, huh? Hua Min smiled. Bashu restaurant was a special hot pot restaurant that was famous for its spiciness. It was said that the chili oil was made from red peppers that were only found in Sichuan. It tasted incredibly sour. If it was someone who had never eaten it before, they would definitely have diarrhea the first time they ate it. However, the 4 of them could handle spicy food and couldn't eat anything without it. Upon hearing that they were going to eat hot pot with Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling, Hua Min's mood improved even more. Did you see the news today? Qin Chu asked casually. Huh? Honey, you like to gossip too? Hua Min tilted his head and looked at Qin Chu, amused. It's quite sudden. Me too, My first reaction was that the photo wasn't real, but she slightly said that the photo wasn't photoshopped. She had someone verify it, so it shouldn't be wrong. I'm more curious about Hua Xiqian's motive. Qin Chu felt a little uneasy. Every time Hua Xiqian did something big, he had this feeling. Isn't he trying to suck up to Mayor Song? Qin Chu shook his head. With the Hua Corporation's current power, even without the Song family's support, he's like a fish in water. So, there's no need for him to do this. Any socialite would be a good choice. I don't know why he chose Song Yishe. Maybe it's because he thinks she's suitable. Hua Min didn't mention that Hua Xiqian promised to help him get rid of Song Yishe. Firstly, he was afraid that Qin Chu would think too much. Secondly, Hua Xiqian's words might not necessarily be true. It was true that outsiders could not understand the way he did things. At this time, Hua Min's phone rang. Hello. Shui. It was Mo Shui. Hua Min. I had a miscarriage. Ah. Hua Min was surprised again. Didn't Mo Shui just promise her that she would keep the child? Why did she have an abortion so soon? I'm at the hospital. The baby is gone. Mo Shui's voice was weak. What's wrong with you? Is it related to today's news? Hua Min asked. Heh. Anyway, he doesn't care if I live or die. It's good that the child is gone, at least he won't have to suffer with me. Then you should rest well. The company will give you some time off. Don't feel burdened. I know, Hua Min. Do you know why Hua Xiqian did this to Song Yishe? Mo Shui suddenly asked. I'm not sure. Hua Min replied uncertainly, haha. Mo Shui's laughter made Hua Min's hair stand on end. What's wrong? Nothing, I was just asking. Go do what you need to do. Then, Mo Shui hung up the phone. Hua Min was confused by the series of events that happened. She had a feeling that the news and Mo Shui's miscarriage had something to do with Hua Xiqian. However, no one could understand that man's thoughts. When they arrived at Bashu restaurant, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling had already ordered food. The four of them chatted casually in the private room. Just then, Zhu Lingling was scrolling through the news on her phone when she suddenly said, Hey, look, there's news about the Hua Corporation again. Hua Min looked down and saw that it said, the chairman of the Hua Corporation, Mr. Hua Xiqian, has resigned. With 75% of the company's shares, Mr. Hua Xiqian has become the heir to the Hua Corporation. From now on, he will be in charge of the Hua Corporation's lifeline. The old man lost. Hua Min said faintly. Hua Xiqian has been making a lot of moves lately. Is he up to something big? Gao Ran felt like something was wrong. Chapter 12:25. It's hard to say. Qin Chu thought about it seriously. Hey, let's not worry about that. What does their business have to do with us? Even if Hua Xiqian really likes bitch song, that's their business. There's a saying that goes, a bitch and a dog will last forever. Even though Hua Xiqian isn't a dog, but Song Yishe is a bitch. Yeah, that's it. Zhu Lingling analyzed with a smile. Hua Min, Qin Chu, Gao Ran, Lingling, watch your words. You can't be so rude. You're going to be a family member of a police officer. Zhu Lingling rolled her eyes at him and retorted, so what if I'm a family member of a police officer? Can't family members speak freely? She's a bitch, but she doesn't let people talk about her. If she doesn't want people to talk about her, then she shouldn't be such a bitch. Okay, let's not talk about this here. The question is, I'm hungry. Can we eat now? Hua Min looked at the boiling hot pot and was about to drool. Maybe it was because she had a lot of work. She was busy all afternoon and didn't eat much for lunch, so she was especially hungry. You've been eating a lot lately. What's going on? Are you pregnant? Screw you. Hurry up and eat, I'm starving, Min was speechless. Hurry up and tell me, are you pregnant? Zhu Lingling also wanted Min to be pregnant. Therefore, she was more anxious than she was. I'm really not pregnant, sis, my period just came. After Min finished speaking, even Gao Ran looked awkward. Ahem, do you have any plans for the end of the year? Aren't you guys going on vacation? Gao Ran changed the subject. No, I'm staying at home with Mian's mom, Qin Chu said faintly. Good son-in-law, you know that Jixin isn't home, so you're extra nice to your mother. Zhu Lingling was Mr. Qin's diehard fan. He gave Mr. Qin a thumbs up. The four of them chatted as they ate, in the villa of the Song family. The coverage of this incident was so good that it became a big drama. Almost every day, the media would talk about this matter. Lady Song would be surrounded by the media as soon as she stepped out of the house. Song Yisher was so scared that she didn't even dare to leave the house. Initially, he thought that he could just drag it out and wait for Mayor Song to come back. That night, Hua Xiqian went on a financial interview program. In the end, he revealed his relationship on the program. This made Song Yisher very angry. It was originally a financial program with a low income rate. However, the news had been too hot recently, causing this program to become the viewership champion for the same period of time. When Min returned home, he turned on the TV and happened to watch this scene. It was supposed to be a program about stocks, but at the end of the segment, the host suddenly asked, President Hua, since the news has been quite popular lately, I would like to gossip a little. Can you tell us about your relationship with Miss Song Yisher? Hua Xiqian first smiled, then, he said, Sure is very beautiful, I've always admired her. Oh. The audience sighed. This sentence made the relationship between the two even more ambiguous. Are those photos real? The host asked again. Those photos are real, but it's not what everyone thinks. At the time, we had a lot to drink, so we went to a hotel to rest. However, we didn't do anything. Hua Xiqian did this on purpose. The more he talked about it, the worse the situation became. An adult man and woman checking into a 5-star hotel and not doing anything? Who would believe it if he told them? Therefore, Hua Xiqian was very good with his words. With his words, he confirmed their relationship. However, the truth was, Hua Xiqian really didn't do anything. That night, after he drugged Song Yisher, he took off her clothes and threw her onto the bed. Hua Xiqian played games on his phone for half the night. In the end, he was tired, so he lay down on the sofa for a while. Although he was a playboy, he was very picky and didn't sleep with just any woman. He was disgusted by Song Yisher's face, so even if she asked him to do it, he wouldn't do it. In front of the TV, Song Yisher was so angry that her hands trembled. Hua Xiqian, you and I are irreconcilable. You hurt me like this, let's see how I'll get back at you. Chapter 12:26. Hua Xiqian's visit unintentionally pushed the issue to the climax. 2 days later, Song Yisher put on a pair of sunglasses and discreetly sat in her chauffeur's Audi A8 to pick up Mayor Song at the airport. She originally thought that she would be discreet and wouldn't be discovered, but she was still surrounded by paparazzi. Miss Song, did you and Mr. Hua Xiqian announce your relationship? Miss Song, there are rumors that you wanted to interfere with President Qin and Lady Qin's marriage. Is that true? Miss Song, what do you think about what Hua Xiqian said last night? Miss Song, out of all your suitors, is Mr. Hua the most outstanding? Is the Hua Corporation the company that Mayor Song wants to support? Miss Song, you and Min are good friends, so did Mrs. Qin introduce you to Hua Xiqian? Has the wedding date been set? Will it be in China? Will you work at the Hua Corporation after marriage? Will you still be in art school? Did Mayor Song agree to your marriage? Can you tell us more about it? There are also rumors that you two weren't close before. Was it a mistake after drinking? After all, you're both adults. So, was it a one-night stand with President Hua? Would Mayor Song mind your private life being so casual? No matter how smart Song Yisher was, she couldn't handle the reporter's indiscriminate questions. She was completely stunned, her face was dark and she didn't say a word. Under the guidance of her bodyguard, she went straight to the VIP lounge. After entering, she took off her sunglasses and threw them on the table. "Miss Song, your coffee." "Take it away, I'm not thirsty," Song Yisher said in a bad mood. Hua Xiqian really messed up all her plans. Otherwise, she would have gone one step further and exposed Hua Min's dirty secrets. She had even thought of a plan and implemented the first step, but she didn't expect that before she could do anything. Hua Xiqian made the first move and set her up. Song Yisher was clear that Hua Xiqian did not frame her because he liked her. He would not marry her just because of her father's right. She had a feeling that Hua Min had something to do with this. Could it be that Hua Min and Hua Xiqian were in cahoots to frame her? It was hard to say. Hua Xiqian, Hua Min, these two bitches, no one with the surname, Hua, is a good person. One day, I will make sure that there is no one with the surname, Hua, in C City. How disgusting. Song Yisher clenched her fists and made up her mind. 20 minutes later, Mayor Song came out from the VIP passage. "Dad." She immediately walked up to him. "Let's talk in the car." Mayor Song's expression was serious. He had been an official his whole life and had nothing to worry about. He was about to retire in a few years. Yet, he caused such a huge mess. If Mayor Song hadn't been in Jing City, this incident wouldn't have dragged on until now. In the Audi A8, Mayor Song glanced at his daughter. "What happened?" "Dad." Hua Xiqian was lying. "He set me up, did you know that?" "Why did he set you up?" "How would I know?" "Maybe part of it was because he wanted to use your power, and the other part, maybe it was because of some other grudge. Anyways, nothing happened between us. Do you know how despicable he is? He drugged me and dragged me to the hotel. I didn't know what happened until I woke up and realized it was a trap. It's all my fault for being so careless. I didn't think Hua Xiqian would be so daring as to touch me. He really doesn't want to live anymore. Dad, you can't let him go this time." Song Yisher rattled on and on about what had happened. You're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.